What's up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome to Worcester City Council Theater 3000, another riveting week in the Worcester City Council news. We're going to hear what Mayor Joe Petty has to say about the spotted lanternfly, and then we're going to figure out how much money we're going to give the cops to wear body cameras. Another great week in Worcester City Council. How you guys doing today?
Fantastic. How are you?
Oh, I'm not bad. I'm just peachy.
I don't think we're going to find out. I think they're just going into an executive session on it.
Well, yeah, we're not actually going to find out today, but the city council is going to probably find out today, and then we'll hear about it.
What up?
Bill, Yimby Twitter is going to start yelling at me. Why would Yimby Twitter yell at me? And what is that? And also, who cares? What's up, Brian? How you doing?
I'm wonderful. How is everybody doing?
Can you guys hear me?
Not bad. All right, now you're good. You're much better now. You're a little quiet.
Yeah,
a little quiet.
My setup is all changed around, so I gotta change some stuff. I'm gonna pop out for a second. What's on the what's the big stuff on the agenda? I'm sure you guys are already talking about it, but
yeah, we're talking about the spotted lanternfly. and how we're gonna have Joe Petty is gonna issue a kill on command order today, if we're lucky. Joe Petty showed up at the roast of Worcester last week. That was fun.
And Sean Rose.
Yeah.
And Sean Rose. He was
I-
there.
you know, The mayor, I give him a lot of
Yes.
credit. He was a very good sport. He only left once Bill started talking, and right before I was supposed to talk. So he knew. He knew.
Very gracious.
Yeah.
But he gave us. He
really
donated. He donated $200 to the charity. So
Yeah.
it was very cool of him.
Well, that's good. Yeah, that's
yeah.
great. Good for him.
Yeah.
He has my support. Tell you what, after that.
It doesn't take much in this town.
yeah. Tell you what, he's a nice guy.
Laugh at your
I definitely
jokes.
want him
You
to
got my
continue
vote.
to be in the mayor. yeah. I really was hoping. I was hoping that he left after I insinuated that we were lovers. But I don't think that was what actually made him.
He honestly just missed it. He came up and said bye, and I was like, "Oh, I know what Bill has coming, and it hasn't happened yet."
That sucks. Oh well.
Hey, he heard.
Oh
about
well.
It. You know he heard about it.
You know he watched the
yeah.
playback.
Of course, Dan did. Dan, I ran into Rassicot the next day, and he quoted a bunch of jokes back to us. So,
that's sick. That's awesome.
They knew what's going on.
Yeah, that was a fun time. That was a really fun time.
Good for him. Yeah, I think it's really cool of him in his last term in office to just be so accepting and have a good sense of humor about it all. He laughed at every joke about everybody. Honestly,
that's awesome. That's so sick.
He was wiling a little bit as far as what he was laughing at. So
we should have had a camera trained on him the entire time. Are you laughing?
Our shot did.
We have
get
ways
him
we're gonna
a
work.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have ways we're gonna improve. We may even say Brian's last name next time.
Oh yeah, that was a criticism we got on the YouTube. My name was definitely said many times, including 3 times by me. So the brand is strong. I always get it out there. I did. You know what sucks, Bill? Like right after, because we hung around for a while after all of us like hanging out and talking. As soon as I walked out of the building after everybody left, I realized I skipped a joke. So can I tell?
No.
Can I tell it to you guys right now? Yeah, I had some issues with my iPad, and So I had a really good run going about Kate Toomey, and one of the jokes I was really happy with I just completely missed it was I actually heard the reason why the city's fighting so hard to keep the buses fare free is so they'll have something to throw her under. Which
that's pretty sick. Yeah, I like it. I like that one.
Yeah,
that's good.
So, yeah, until next year.
For approval.
So yeah, that was really good. Doug Arbiter wins my award for fiercest jokes.
Oh yeah, he was the best.
Great stuff. Yeah,
he always comes.
A lot of people had their eyes opened by Brianna Woodward.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
the fact that she
awesome.
didn't know anything about city councilors. You just fed her the punchlines,
so
right?
She just
we just literally were like, this is. She asked about everybody, and we gave her a one sentence description of every city councilor and roaster and a bunch of things going on in the city, and
that's awesome.
She just crushed.
She's nuts.
Yeah,
she's so good.
Yeah. She's so
basically
funny.
the Chat GPT of Worcester comedy, then.
Right.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah,
it is. When we used to do a lot more roast shows, I would tell people all the time, it is a formula. It's a formula.
Sure.
So sometimes, like if you're stuck and you can't think of anything, there's like 6 things that you can do, and just like set up punchline, and it works. It's really fun.
Yeah, if you go to the YouTube page, George, I'll put the link in the chat.
Yeah. It should still be up as a replay on Twitch for a few more days at least too. If you find yourself on our page and aren't a subscriber already.
93 viewers so far on YouTube.
Has anybody about this meeting today? Has anybody looked into this thing about how they want to get rid of paying people overtime? I don't understand it. I read the report and it just didn't make any sense to me.
I heard a passing reference to it, but what, like, in what context? Like all municipal employees?
So
It's like
I think the issue is that it's overlapping with current contracts. So it's a thing that has kind of just been left on the books and is now interfering with the ability to do collective bargaining stuff. Supposedly, it's basically like conflicting with the ability of people to advocate for themselves. I don't know why it's coming up now, though.
I have no background on it.
To Nico having to stay until all hours for city council meetings, like I don't know.
They're paying Nico too much overtime. Well, hey, Nico doesn't have a contract, so
nope.
He's just been working for free.
Nice
so I don't know. I don't know if anyone's going to flag that as an issue or if it's just a formality, but it did seem kind of. Whenever you hear about something that might get rid of overtime for employees, then, you're kind of thinking like, someone might be getting screwed here, but I don't know.
Well, the cops need overtime to put the body cameras on, so.
Yeah, right. And they need overtime hours to
redact their own footage.
Yeah. And put together highlight reels of abusing people.
Right.
To be shared internally.
Do cops have their own YouTube?
Oh yeah, it's called Bluetooth.
They're definitely going to start
They should put all sorts of
Bluetooth
shit on there.
You have to scan your badge to get in.
Yeah.
Every badge has an RFID chip. We all know this.
Bluetooth.
That just has my brain going to Blue's Clues.
Oh yeah,
that's adorable. It has my brain going to Blue Chew, which I'm sure that a cop or two is taken. Yeah,
I have no idea what that
is. Probably for the best.
Good.
Well, we all know that Blue and Steve are cops, so it makes sense.
It's true. It's yeah. And more propaganda. Hey, so did they arrest Trump or what?
I was going to ask you guys that.
Still waiting for that?
I have no idea. I haven't paid any attention.
They put a bunch of barricades around the courthouse.
They're still doing the grand jury, so it isn't happening.
I thought they were suspended until tomorrow. I thought I read something like that.
Yeah, but it's not done. Like you wouldn't have an indictment come down until the grand jury is like wrapped up.
Oh, fair.
And they still had they just interviewed another witness yesterday, I think.
Wow.
So another good day of internet tomorrow.
Did you see that there were 10 protesters?
Yeah, in New York,
right? They were outnumbered by all of the reporters.
Yeah, they were outnumbered by reporters 5-1 is what one report said.
Well, I was watching I turned the news on for a minute to see what they were saying about it, and people at Mar-a-Lago were saying, well, they have facial recognition technology in New York, so we couldn't go to that one. And it's like, yeah, they got that shit everywhere, dog.
Yeah, literally everywhere. Why do you think they'd have it in the Capitol?
Yeah.
We ain't got that fancy facial recognition technology.
Recognition
technology out in the suburb I work in my insurance job.
This is the whole issue with Trump, like in general, is that he's objectively funny. Like,
dude, let's be real. He's so funny.
No one's done a better job of like hurting Republican candidates than
should he be indicted?
10 years.
his response to being indicted or arrested is going to be the funniest thing in the world. Like we don't know what's coming yet, but it's going to be great.
He's just he understands television better than any politician in the last since television's been invented. And I mean, what else do Americans actually care about? I mean, it's kind of cynical and sad, but the number of people who are actually paying attention to anything substantive, like, it doesn't matter. Their votes are already cast at the end of the day.
No one was following his case until he said that he was going to get arrested. No one was continuing to follow it,
And the amount of people
again, he's a
came
fucking
out
moron.
for the supposed protests for him getting arrested, like that no one came out to them anywhere in the country, not even just New York.
Right. But now people are like
graphic.
following it because he made a thing out of it, and he's good at that. He's good at getting eyes on things.
Oh, totally. I mean, he was a non-candidate.
Yeah,
going back to
he just doesn't he doesn't understand the difference between good and bad attention. Which like he's so good at getting attention, he's so bad at knowing when it's hurting him and when it's helping him.
To be honest with you, man, I think it all helps in the most amazing way possible. I mean, despise the guy, but it's really the most amazing trajectory possible for a complete lunatic who doesn't have maybe 3 functioning brain cells. He's just so good at this stuff. It's amazing. I mean, if you could do what was if you could set up like a Truman Show sort of thing where we just had him in like a bubble, like that would be the only program necessary on any streaming service. So just like leave that on 24/7. He thought he was running the world. He's actually just inside of a big dome. Be beautiful.
Dude, Yimby Twitter for me, dude. The Yimbies. I just figured out what that is. James Nichols Worley, not a fan of my most recent post.
Oh no.
Is Yimby yes in my backyard?
Yeah, I don't know, something stupid like that.
That's what the acronym is.
Yeah.
There's a lot of toxicity that has happened in circles that really like feel an attachment to that Yimby term. I don't understand what specifically. I've just heard that in a vague sense that there's a community that's causing problems there, and I have no idea why.
They just it's like anything on Twitter. If it's something that's doesn't affect your life at all, but you can argue about it, then that's what you spend your time doing. That's what's good, and that's what we like.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Worcester City Council Meeting.
All the discourse.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance
tipping
and start spanking the alien banner, followed by
whether you should tip. Just do that. Just tip. But some British people got upset about how they have to come to America and they got to tip at restaurants. So now everyone's talking about that today. Twitter is so stupid.
Can you guys hear me?
Now we can.
All right.
Super low.
My headphones are out. I do want to say though, a great person to. Can you hear me now?
Beautiful.
Is that better? All right. Mm-hmm. The Yimby stuff. There's a comedian, Kate Willett, who is knee deep in Yimby stuff on Twitter. A great follow for that. And we booked her, and she's coming to Ralph's this summer. So follow her on.
What's her name again?
Kate Willett. Willett. There it is.
Didn't know if you guys wanted to hear this. I can mute it.
No, absolutely. Bring it back.
I always want to hear it.
We have some new graphics tonight.
Right.
No, like not us. Yeah.
No, I know. Yeah.
Do. We're the same old bullshit.
The jam. Summer jam.
That'd be great.
Ask everybody to remain standing for a moment of silence for Sergeant Derek Lito, who passed away this past week, and someone who's dedicated 18 years of his life to the Worcester Police Department, the youth of our city, and promoting diversity within our city. He's going to be missed. Thank you. Do a roll call.
A very sad moment. It would have been very
Council
funny though if
Bergman
Kate was
here.
on her phone.
Council Calorio,
Here.
Council Agia,
So funny if Kate
Council
was
King.
on her phone.
Here.
Council Merrill Carlson,
Here.
Council Nguyen,
Here.
Council Rivera,
Here.
Council Rose,
Here.
Council Russell,
Here.
Council Toomey,
Here.
and Mayor Petty.
Here. Approval of the minutes of the February 14th meeting. All those in favor? Opposed? So ordered. Public participation. A person may speak for no more than 2 minutes and any item appearing on the agenda. If you'd like to speak, to your name, to your residence, and item number.
We got plenty of dead air on our own. We don't need their help.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Frederick Nathan, 9N.
I like the dead air.
Jones,
Builds
item
tension.
About trying to get the colleges and the universities.
I saw Fred
to,
walking through
pay
Tatnick
their
Square the other
fair
day.
share.
He had this like old lady's shopping cart buggy thing that he was just pushing down
I'm
Shango
sure the
Street.
colleges will fight
Really
it
nice.
with every.
The second
victory
biggest
they can,
wrestling
but
fan in the city behind me, Fred
when
Nathan.
The colleges keep on buying property.
I love those bins
Whether
because it
it's
makes
in-
me feel like we're in
I see this
from
like
all
the-
over the place in New York
former
City.
Diamond property on Park Ave that city probably should have bought, but
It's
they
true.
didn't. But
Every
that's another
Thursday.
story. I'm sure.
Who is
they
this
won't
guy
pay
in
any taxes
full
on their
regalia?
property.
I cannot wait for him to reveal himself.
And the way the colleges keep on buying all these 3 deckers, not to necessarily tear them down, but for
So there's a
housing
street
students.
being renamed after an
Now, under that
Albanian
title
family.
I was gonna say
tonight.
I can
I
see
can
the
see a little
eagle.
bit of what
Taxes
looks
and
like
properties.
an Albanian flag.
Doesn't
I'm
that
gonna.
have to be a place of learning?
All right,
which
everyone.
they can
Oh,
everyone,
right, because there's a street naming.
By the fact that the students are doing
Everyone,
their-
just be cool, be
their
calm,
work
and we'll get out of this
on their
safely. I
computers
think.
in their houses. So
What's on
there's
Fred's
that
tie?
little,
That's a Marines,
loophole
That's a
that
Lions
I
Club
don't
tie.
at
Yeah,
the city.
yeah.
Nice try if we can do it, because I'm sure I'm having this extra money and the city
God,
coffers
now that you
will
mention
go
it,
a
Fred
long way
Nathan,
taking
the
care
most
of
Lions King
things
type of guy
that we have had to let pass by.
that's ever
because
been. Lions
don't
Club,
have the
not
money,
Lions King. Lions
you
Club?
Oh,
got
yeah.
no choice. You either make
I'm sure he
everybody
loves the
pay
Lion King,
more
too.
money, and then the
Definitely
people
love the
who's
Lion
moving
King.
out,
Really upset about the new Little Mermaid, but big fan of the OG.
Yep. Are those
I
the
was
ones that drive
shocked
over that
about,
truck on the little?
Sergeant Lito having broken bread with him.
Those are
on a few
Shriners.
times,
Yeah, I knew.
Yeah.
I realized that as it was coming out of my mouth, like, oh, this isn't funny. I should just shut up.
His services will be greatly missed in the youth of the city. Hopefully, they don't suffer.
Thank you.
That sounded like a threat.
Your name, to your residence, and item number.
Yeah, it did.
Hi, good evening. My name is Melissa Verdier. I'm a resident of Worcester, 37 Dixfield Road. I'm also
Oh, this is the
president of the Educational Association of Worcester. So,
Yeah.
good evening, Mayor Petty and city councilors and city manager Batista. So, as I said, I am the president of the Educational Association of Worcester. It represents over 3,000 educators here in the Worcester Public Schools, from teachers to bus drivers, paras to parent liaisons, and school staff in positions who every day help our students and families. I'm also a Worcester resident, as I said. I'm a parent of 2 boys who go to the Worcester Public Schools. And until elected, I was a 20-year veteran
Is this
teacher.
on? Do you have something on the agenda tonight? on
Yeah,
this?
your
We do.
budget.
Oh yeah.
I know what I'm
Oh, the budget's on there.
Roasted
Oh.
again.
I was a 20-year special educator
Joe
at North
can't
High
stop
School.
getting roasted.
So of course I have to start by congratulating again our Worcester North High School basketball team on that historic win on Sunday night. It was such an excellent.
Lady, you're using up your 2
and a
minutes.
little
He's gonna
applause.
he's gonna
Um,
count you down.
So tonight I'm speaking to you, our elected city leaders, about supporting our schools that need to achieve for students and the community here in Worcester. While we're fortunate that due to the hard-won Student Opportunity Act, we're receiving an increased state funding
I don't
that
know
does
if
not
he
fill the
has
gaps in the
the
budget as
balls
recently
to
presented during the March 16th school
really
committee
cut her
meeting.
off.
Brian Allen
this point.
outlined the 2023-2024 school budget and demonstrated a gap of over 1.5 million projected for the next year. This comes as our union is at the table attempting to
He won't.
reach
He's a coward.
agreements
He won't.
that deliver living wages and competitive teacher pay, so our students have the stability and the supports they need and deserve. Historically, Worcester has barely met the state-required net school spending levels, while the city's contributions have hovered around 100, 101, 102%. Other districts in Massachusetts allocate 140%, 160%, or even more. Even other gateways
see budget
covered
anywhere on the
districts
agenda.
similar in demographics to Worcester spend more of their municipal budget on their schools.
She just said
When
it
you
so
take away the
confidently that he
portion
didn't
of
question
school
it.
funding that passes through the city budget, but is really state or federal funding, the city is contributing only 25% of its total budget to the Worcester Public Schools. This isn't a surprise or new information, as a city like Worcester cannot and should not increase property taxes. However, there is more flexibility in how much is spent on what, and our schools need to increase its funding badly. We have crumbling buildings, short staffing, antiquated systems that need updating. Construction costs are up, and the Massachusetts School Building Authority will only fund one school building project at a time. They turned down the application for Burn Code High this year, and we all know how badly that project needs to be done. In this moment, when ARPA funding in Worcester totals $146 million and many projects are being undertaken with those funds, now is the time to increase the allocation to our schools and aim for even 103%, rather than the bare minimum that the city is of city funding. I ask that you ensure the budget you approve contains the crucial funding our schools need. Thank you.
Next.
Oh, you actually came close to cutting her off. The only the only place budget appears is
My
a
name is Frank
empty
Callahan,
budget
and I live at 53 Elm
office
Street here
division
in Worcester. I wish
agenda
to
item.
comment on items 11A and 11B, which pertain to the organizing of the Community Preservation Committee to be created with the passage of the municipal ordinance by the Worcester City Council. Item A requests that the Community Preservation Committee determine their own chairperson. And item B requests that the members of the committee not be employees of the city of Worcester. Both of these items are in keeping with the grassroots spirit of the Community Preservation Act, which is shared by 194 other municipalities in the state of Massachusetts, which also enacted the law. In closing, I wish to commend the city administration and city council in a quick manner in which they are acting on this municipal operation, and in particular the Municipal Operations Committee for being so helpful in getting this ordinance passed. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
Hello, my name is
Exactly,
Jennifer
Ms.
Gaskin. I'm a
Duffel.
resident of Worcester, Massachusetts. I'm also the founder and president of the Worcester Caribbean American Carnival Association.
That's a great jacket.
I am here to speak in support of item number 9.0 in regards to creating an opportunity for information and communication between BIPOC event organizers and the city departments and administration. Quite a few of the counselors are very familiar with some of the issues that we've had over the past 10 years. 2023 marks 10 years that we will be presenting the Worcester Caribbean American Carnival in the city. And from the time that I submit my application, my special events application, up until probably the week after the event is over, I have anxiety about what games or challenges or issues are going to be presented to me by the various departments. It's not a transparent process. It's a process that excludes many members of our community
Process is a
from not being
nightmare.
able to participate, whether it's for financial reasons or because they're just not able to access the resources. So I, again, am speaking out in support of that. And I would like for
The
our
comment that
voices to be
Brian
heard and to be
Schramm
part
left
of the
on there,
conversation as we're
I would just,
evolving the process around
I'd love to
presenting events
like
in the
where
city.
like
And if
know
you
where
truly
he
believe
got
that
that
culture
idea.
matters, and you truly believe that Worcester is the
Pretty
cultural
sure
passport
the
of
budget
of
was
the
much low.
Commonwealth,
Like,
then you need to put
you
resources
even
into supporting
you're
cultural
just saying shit.
organizations and cultural events.
Thank you.
It's very fun to me. I like when people. I like stupid people like that just confidently spout off.
I also love
Good
Jen.
afternoon. My
Jen's
name is
awesome.
Jeffrey
That was
Killebrew,
great.
and I'm standing now speaking on behalf of in support of 14E F&G. So I've been a resident of Worcester and a paraprofessional at Burncoat Middle for over 2 years now. And we're asking that you consider the needs of our students and schools for adequate funding so we can have safe, healthy buildings and living wages for all. We need your support to achieve this. Costs are rising for all of us, and many schools are short-staffed as it's hard to hire paras at the current rates. The cities ask for a 1% contribution of the OPEB for new hires. Hits hard for those of us who don't make a lot and work 2 to 3 jobs to make ends meet. It will also harm Worcester Public Schools' ability to hire and retain staff once they understand they have to pay that 1%. The others do not. So we ask for your support. Thank you.
Next speaker. Did your name say your residence?
Good evening. My name is Ruth Rodriguez Fay. I just want to add just one education the school. And I want you just to consider
Who's got the
this,
indications going off?
because we have in this country.
Who's getting emails?
A corporate.
That was me, and I'm not entirely sure how that came through.
Has taken over.
Because I was
Every
muted.
time a student takes the MCAS, it's money that is taken out to give to the
Muting the audio won't change the
company,
notifications come through the computer if it's line in.
the testing company.
Yeah, I'll have to
When a
figure that out.
student fails the test in 10th grade,
I was the
they're
one causing
failing
those
and
sounds,
you
so
can
I
take
just
it
wanted to do
again. Again, that's money that's being drained from that school. And I just want you to think about this, because ever since we've had this MCAS, it's affected our children to be denied the services that they really need. And all that our teachers are forced to do is teach to a racist test. And when the student doesn't pass the test in 10th grade, he is told that he cannot graduate. You don't give him a diploma.
Look at that dog.
And this is money, like I said, it's taken away from the public school to give to the corporate. And you know what it is? It's to give to the charter movement, who are taking the money away from the school, the neediest schools. Okay? And just so you know, because I'm always talking about
Had
my
to pay the terror
community,
tax, apparently.
the only 3 school districts in Massachusetts on the state receivership are all majority Latino population. Lawrence, Holyoke, and Southbridge. And because we have the largest Latino student population, the state has been trying to take it over. So we need to fight this.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I was adjusting my
city,
mic. Did I miss Tara from Mayor?
Good evening. My name is Stanley.
What if the
Cheruzik
city took
from
that building by
Worcester.
eminent domain before the charter
Speaking on
school could go there?
1027. Good evening. I'm still. I said.
I don't think they're ready for that fight for the debt.
Driving our school students.
I think we should try it.
to and from school. Most importantly, I greet them with a positive.
I don't
start
think
to
that's
the
a vector
day and let
that's
them know
anywhere
any
near
assistance
possible.
they need. I or my monitor will make sure every effort to help and
What if we all get
assure
pitchforks
a safe ride will be provided.
and
When their day
march
is
on the
done and
building
they
like it
exit
was
the club,
Frankenstein?
I tell them to have a great night and hopefully see them tomorrow. Worcester Public Schools transportation is approaching 1 year completely in-house. So many things have changed. Drivers, monitors, new buses, routes, management, students, and yes, even our school superintendent. To keep and bring in new drivers and monitors, we need to stay competitive. The current job market is tough right now, and wages are increasing in many fields. Recently, Providence drivers settled a contract that will take them to $37 an hour for drivers. Westboro is at $32 per hour and fighting for more. Worcester deserves to have a fully staffed transportation department. High school students need to get to school before the final bell rings in the morning and often need to get home on time. They often need to be getting ready for work or a driver's ed class and be home
This
ready
guy
for
that's
younger
tweeting at me right
siblings
now
to
so
arrive
much. I'm
at
trying not to
home.
get mad. I'm getting
Drivers
fucking
from
Who is it?
Ohio this
Get
year
mad, Bill.
only
He's just
have
like some.
HRT
He's
for
just like
only
some young
5
Dems
hours a
fuck.
day
I don't know.
of pay.
He's a
from
school bus.
183
He's a school bus
days
driver.
for the school
No,
year.
he's
No,
talking
not
about
this
Twitter.
guy. Some guy on Twitter.
Oh,
Some guy on
oh,
Twitter.
oh.
Any extra
I thought we were
hours,
I'm just
hating
getting
this
fucking.
Who is it?
No, he's from Southborough. His name is
Oh,
James
James.
Nichols
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Worley.
In these
I,
times, we
I'm
ask
in the
that
Young
you
Dems.
include funding for the schools, drivers,
He's a pretty decent
and
guy. What the heck's
monitors
going on?
that will help our city's transportation.
He's just like he's
department
taken.
be the success
I don't know.
We know it can
He's
be.
creating division is what he's doing. He's just being a weird Twitter fuck. I don't know. I just fucking hate that website sometimes.
Frankly, Druley.
It's a bad website.
Honorable Mayor Patty and Council.
Yeah, I thought that Elon Musk would have burned it to the ground by now.
Here tonight, representing the sons of
Being the hero we all need.
As the president, together with the leaders.
The MDs have extremely strong views about letting developers do whatever they want. And if you suggest that the city should get a little bit more from the developers, they get really mad, especially if they live in fucking Southborough.
National hero, George Castriotis Skenderbeu. Doing so would bestow an honor to every person of Albanian heritage who lives in our wonderful city. There is not a single
Bill, take a deep breath and then
to be
spit in
of
this guy's
Albanian
face.
heritage that does not know who George Castriotis Skenderbeu is. After a short biography of Skenderbeu can be read, it does not tell fully. And it does
Travis, I
not
didn't realize that was a dog in your lap, and like I turned away for a second. When I looked back, the angle looked like an owl's asshole.
Yeah, he's also that. That's actually what I called him. This is Owl's asshole. He's an asshole. This is Rocket.
Likewise, the Albanian community here
My dog.
defied the odds too.
And he's cool,
In the
but
early
he's a jerk.
1900s and a century later,
He's jumped away.
young, strong-willed men and women from a small, poor country risked it all and in a new land and thrived. Those of us who pursued the American dream by leaving Albania over 2 decades ago are now fully integrated into the social and economic life of the American society. Yet we are proud of retaining our Albanian identity and heritage. Today, a small group of young people, some dressed in Albanian costumes, are present in this chamber. They represent the next generation of our community and Worcester's bright future. It is not a coincidence, but the result of the expansion of our community that Konstantina Lux
Define
was the city's
interesting.
first elected woman mayor only a few years back, and now we
We have a weird cat.
Is it a lizard?
three city
I used to have
leaders,
I had an iguana for 12 years.
Donna Colorio and Etela Gia, and city
That's
clerk
pretty sad.
Now we just have
the later two
a hairless
being born in
cat.
Albania that I would like to thank very much for supporting this petition. To all young people and students attending tonight in this chamber, your parents and community look to you to become the next generation of community leaders. Maybe one of you might be leading us from the White
Oh my
House
goodness,
one day.
your son's really the.
And I would hope so.
That makes what's going on with the whole MBTA.
And because of that, also
zoning
to you,
regulations
two more
make
things
a lot more
I
sense
always
now.
Yeah, doesn't it make it even more
remember
infuriating?
going forward. And it's not my words, but I think it's your presence here tonight. I think it's more convincing. If you will follow Judge Castrioti way, you will find the heart and the home of the Albanian community of Worcester, St. Mary's Albanian Orthodox Church.
I think we should seize the Palladium and open the bowling alley, bowling alley back up.
Remember that Worcester is your home and wholeheartedly desires you to be part of his great future. Thank you, Mr.
I'm really sad Colonial Bowls won.
I drove by it for the first time since they started remodeling it. I'm really bummed out.
It looks so weird.
Hannah
It looks
Weinsack,
so weird.
resident of Worcester, 82 Cohasset.
I know Hannah.
Yeah, hi,
so I'm
Hannah.
here speaking on item
Hannah's great.
1027. I have been a teacher and an educator in the Worcester Public Schools for 9 years. I'm also on the board of directors for the MTA. And it's the ratio that the city has funded the schools
I didn't think
has
they
been
could speak to
unacceptable for
blank
far
items on the agenda.
too long.
But apparently
But I'm
that's
not
not
here
true.
about that. I'm here because it is officially an emergency. In the building that I work in, there are 4 educators that have left to get better pay this year.
Yeah, this is a city council
And there are
fit.
many more that are currently applying. These districts around us are paying 10 to 13% more. And a lot of these teachers that have left are veterans. These are people who care so much about the students in the Worcester Public Schools. A friend of mine that was known as an ESP currently, or an instructional assistant, as you might have known
Her friend
them,
is ESP.
he said, I could be making more money at Walmart right now. And this is somebody with a degree in physics that was able to help students,
What
tutor
Walmart?
students, and went out of his way after school to help coach clubs as
To
well.
be fair, a lot of that is because how much stealing you can do when you work there.
So clearly,
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, there's that.
because they're missing
It's
out on their
also how
veteran
low
teachers, but they're
we pay
also
them.
missing out because new teachers are fleeing as
They're
well.
making more than minimum
The
wage, though,
city's
right?
proposal to increase our OPEB contributions by 1% falls only on new teachers. And as
And
we
it's
know,
not full year.
educators in the urban
Yeah,
schools
paraprofessionals
drop
get
within 3 to 5
screwed
years
really
they
bad.
change professions. So I'm
That's the
here
big
speaking
sticking
on
point in this
behalf of the
contract.
union to let you know that you will not divide us and pit new against old. We are here to protect our most vulnerable members as well. And it's honestly sad to see this debate happening at the city council
Yikes.
around housing.
And when you consider
Oh.
As I've
the
said,
fact
I've
that it's
been in the Worcester
hourly
Public Schools for
and
9 years. I can't afford an
you
apartment
miss,
on my salary
you know,
here.
fully half of the
As
calendar
you all
year.
know, those
It's
have been increasing.
tough.
So it's also
Yeah. No,
tearing us
I agree.
apart that
I'm not.
it's become
It's
so
essentially
difficult for
less
us to
than
stay
minimum
and be
wage.
a part of the community that we care about so much.
Thank
And I'm also here because the community
This is Hannah
advocated.
Weinsoft.
When
She's a
y'all took
teacher
the
in the
police
city.
out of the schools, that money was not reinvested in the schools. There has still not been a single more cent from that money put back into our schools for preventative mental health measures. And we already know
Can you
that we
wrap
are
up?
at crisis levels.
Can you wrap
Thank
up?
you.
Yeah, I can wrap it up.
Mr. Mayor, Greg Steffen, Holden, Massachusetts, on behalf of the Sons of St. Mary's Board at St. Mary's in Worcester.
Why are we going so
thank you
far
for
wide?
Allowing me the opportunity to speak tonight.
New
on the
angle.
Ceremonial naming of Salisbury
I
Street.
love a
as
new
George
angle.
Castriotti's Scandinavia Way. This act
Well,
symbolically
in Attleboro
showcased
Court
the
yesterday, the mother of a
that over the
16-year-old
years
girl
has
was granted a
quietly
restraining
prospered,
order against
grown, and
Aiden
now seeks
Kearney
to share its
over his
collective
harassment of the teenager.
The community has successfully weaved their old and
What a
new
piece of
families
shit.
together
Hell yeah.
into one of the many ethnic fabric
Oh
that
my
makes
God.
Worcester
Oh, another new
a
angle.
dynamic, growing
Nice.
city.
Whoa.
Oh,
Whoa.
Jesus.
Doesn't take
We haven't
away
seen this
from
angle
the
in almost 2 years.
Whoa.
past efforts of those
This is
families
really
like
exciting
Salisbury.
stuff.
Through the
Thank you,
hard
That's a
Beck.
full
work
gallery,
of
man.
today's
Yeah,
newer
Beck killing
families,
it.
They too are
That's a
striving
full
to
ass
make
gallery if
Worcester
I've ever seen
a
one.
great place to
Oh,
live
yeah.
and work. The community I'm speaking on behalf of this evening is the Albanian.
Let's go.
American
Let's go
community
one
of
night and
Worcester.
hang a Wootenanny
I'm
flag
part of
over
the
the
old
the
families,
balcony like
the
that.
ones whose roots go back to the early 1910s.
Well, you should just go up into the top
We
balcony and very loudly do the stream up there. Right after K2 says something. K2 is a fucking idiot.
Soon,
Ugh.
many eventually branched out and began opening
Yeah.
up small businesses.
Two of the
Over
strongest
the years, they
constituencies
owned
in the
spas,
city.
fruit stores, taverns, and breakfast lunch restaurants found throughout the city. The second and third
You're talking about the one cool thing that Aiden never did.
These businesses but more often than not, the kids wanted something.
Yeah,
different.
right.
We're riding high off of that. We got so much. I was pleasantly surprised how many jokes were made about that last week.
We had a lot of Walter Bird material. That's right.
Good.
Very exciting.
Moved out of that neighborhood.
Let's
the
just
old
hope the
neighborhood,
campaign's not taking any
decided to move to
interns.
their new home on Salisbury Street.
Dude, that was
It's
such
really
a great
not
joke.
new, as we've been there for 40 years. But when we moved,
I was
the
told that
Albanian
one of the
community
people that
committed
was
to serve
referenced
the
who was in the
elderly of our
room
city
was feeling
by
very
building Melican
uncomfortable
Gardens,
when
housing
those
for the elderly on Salisbury Street as well.
one of the people that you were
growth of our
referencing.
community was relatively stagnant
Made me
that
laugh.
specific
from
joke?
World War II until
Yeah.
the early 1990s. As there
Wait,
were no new
really?
families able to come to
Not
Worcester
like
from
bad,
Albania.
like look
After
around
the
like
fall of
yeah,
the
yeah,
Soviets
it's
in
kind of how it was.
1992, many Albanian families.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I know what you mean.
The city also warmly welcomed Albanian war refugees. from
That was
Kosovo
he
during
maybe
the
more of a
Islands.
PTSD in
The
the
new
professional
families now number in
capacity
the thousands, and they are the ones
standpoint,
making it
though.
happen in Worcester. Not only by working in the traditional small businesses like the old families, but they have also become Worcester's newest doctors, industrialists, contractors, lawyers, insurance professionals, and educators. Again, it's this mix of old and new that we're looking to celebrate by honoring the families that decided to
The
make Worcester their
city's
home.
fifth most
Ask
prominent sex
everyone to
fest.
consider our petition
It's wicked
to
funny.
ceremonially name Salisbury Street George Castrioti Scanavea Way. It's the only way to find the heart of the
The
Albanian
fifth
community.
horniest weird guy in Worcester.
Who's 1 through
Again,
4?
we appreciate.
John Manfredo.
Oh, that's
John
fun.
Manfredo. John Manfredo.
John Manfredo, number 1 for all time. John Manfredo's the GOAT.
John Manfredo Jr.
John Manfredo
There
Jr.
you
That's
are.
right. That's right.
Idella Hazard, City of Worcester. I'd like to speak on 1027.
I mean, we don't count Aiden in
imagine
Worcester. He lives in Holden.
Teachers are not being paid enough
Yeah.
to live on.
Oh my God, I was just thinking about
Send
jumping in
schools to
today.
be taught. That's the future.
He was my middle school principal.
Teachers should be paid
John Frizzolo
more
definitely
than
has to be on that
anybody.
list.
Oh yeah,
We're sending our kids to school to
he was my.
prepare them
feel like
He was
Idella-
my.
Idella really freshened
She's-
herself up after that WGBH piece.
anybody else.
Yeah, she
Look,
glowed
she's
up.
got her
Yeah,
hair done.
she's a real star now.
A reputable salary, except a teacher. If they're not being paid
This
well,
is why everybody's in the
they're gonna be
gallery tonight,
frustrated,
just to see Idella.
and they're not
Yeah.
given enough time to teach
A
because
denim
they're having
coat
to deal with
/
the
shirt
MCAT.
is fucking sick.
That means our kids are not getting
All
the
right.
kind of education
All
they
right,
should get.
calm down.
When I went to school,
Yeah.
I studied in
This
grammar
full
school,
stoppish is now the
just
6th
doing
horniest person in
civics.
Worcester.
The 2 most important subjects when you
What's
become
on her
an
shirt?
adult. You learn from history, and you need to know civics.
Oh, right,
because
yeah.
This is where
Yeah.
it is, right here, so that we can make the decision.
Should we make a separate list?
that
Because it is
affect
a
our
little weird to
lives.
me
And they're
to
not
call
getting those
sex
subjects
pests horny.
because they're
I don't know if I like
studying
that.
MCAS.
I'm in full support of
And
horniness.
that's
People
it.
should be horny all the time.
So
These guys.
I think 2 things need to happen.
That's true.
I think we need
That's
to
true.
throw the
It's the
MCAS out
pest
the
that's the
window.
issue, not the
And I
sex.
think we
Something's
need
going
to
on.
Right.
start-
Like, I'm gonna restart this.
Maybe the broadcast got bogged down because full stoppish was hitting the heart button too much on the stream.
Hey,
That's probably it. It's
I
because
can
it's because
remember
people love
about
us too much.
15, maybe 20 years ago, the city councilors were being paid
Why not talk about important things
40 wage. And then they said, okay, they voted
on the
Fair.
on
Fair
the
point.
on the city council chat? Fair point. Fair point. We'll figure that out one day.
Do you think there's like a small part of this guy that's wearing like traditional like garb,
So we can't
being
pay the
like, oh, they're
teachers
talking
to
about
wait
like serious stuff, and I got all
children
dressed
to
up for
prepare
a
them
street
for the
name.
future. What is happening?
Sorry,
Gotta make
I
sure
know
I'm
you
in
guys are talking
view.
about
Our city.
serious emergencies
I'm
and
not done. I have my time. Everybody
I-
got to speak.
I also haven't seen him. He just moved right when I was about to say
So
it
is
might be a weekend at
everybody
Bernie's type
else.
situation
Let's
because he hasn't moved.
So I'm gonna
But he
wrap it
just
right
moved
up
a little
right
bit.
now. So I think what we need to do is that
I think we
paying
need to put
our
a clock in the
teachers
room.
so that
It's
we
like
don't
very
lose them.
apparent
If
for
we have to
both
hire
Yeah,
teachers
like a timer.
every
Petty
3 or 4
and
years,
and
our
people who are
kids will never
speaking.
be
It's just
educated. Thank you.
kind of unfair otherwise.
I think you shouldn't be allowed to talk
Hi.
unless you're willing to tell Joe to go fuck himself. I'm not done yet.
I'm not
Yeah,
speaking
that's
this
true.
time. I'm Melissa Verdier. I'm just introducing my friend Ephraim Ajay, who is from North High as well, and he put an item on the agenda, 9/11, that he'd like to speak to.
Hi, my name is.
Yeah, we need to investigate
and
9/11.
I'm petitioning for the city of Worcester to build a basketball court at Holmes Field. As you know, the park has a lot of unused spaces, so with basketball like courts, many kids around the city can come and they can have fun.
That's true.
So I think the city should build it, do something about it.
Nice job. Thank you.
Good job. You did a good job.
That rules. I don't even care that kid did 9/11. That was
My name is
great.
Ed Costas.
That was
I'm a
great.
resident of Worcester.
speech. She said he did. She said he put on 9/11.
Yeah.
American Albanian. My father came from Albania back in the 50s. I support this ceremonial.
Oh, the guy, he accidentally
renamed on Salisbury Street.
pretended he was Greek, even though he's
Be an
speaking
honor to
of
have this
Albanian.
function. In addition,
Classic
When I first moved to Worcester, my girlfriend at the time.
teachers, and maybe we could revisit.
Sorry.
Their contracts.
That's all right.
You know, I just.
I'll tell them.
Yenni, we can't hear you too well, because your mic's really far away from you.
Make it quick again.
If you're using your headset mic.
It may be
Yeah, it
time
would seem to be
for
getting
the
quieter.
city to temporarily suspend hiring only.
Try
Just blow out everyone's ears by doing that.
No,
Sorry.
that's great. No, you're great.
Is that better?
I know we have a shortage of employees.
Much.
Cool.
And we do need the help everywhere across the board. So with that.
Oh,
said,
sorry.
thank you for your time and good luck to you folks.
So when I first moved to Worcester,
What's your name and say your
I'm
resident?
not telling the story. Just not gonna
Fuck
tell.
that. When you first moved to Worcester, what happened, Bill? Jesus Christ.
I'm a
Huh?
resident of Worcester.
What happened when you first moved to
and
Worcester?
I am here.
I don't know. Where'd you get the idea that something
my
happened?
God.
When I first moved to Worcester?
I'm getting
This is a
involved.
city council fit, by the way.
I am the
Yeah, it
vice
is.
president of a Massachusetts organization of
Hell yeah.
African descendants, and I'm here to request that.
Well, Yenni, what
the
were you
city
saying?
Manager office and the city manager work with our community.
I was just trying to say I'm
educate
gonna
them and,
look forward to them trying to say
give them,
no to the
access
basketball
to
field.
American Rescue
North High
Act
kids.
funding,
Oh,
so
right.
they can also grow.
Yeah,
You
this
know,
kid's
That's
smart.
all
He's using
Worcester
he's using his
we
power.
encourage
You gotta use your
diversity,
cachet while you got it.
and this is an opportunity for Worcester to show that we are
I've
welcoming to everybody in
a
Worcester.
couple podcasts I listen to
21%
have like
of the
pretty
population
big
of
fan
Worcester
bases
is
that
made
are
up of
very active on social media. And
immigrants,
talk about like
and
one of them, Doughboys, they talk about food all the time.
unfortunately, most of
And people always
them
want to
don't
talk about
have
like pizza in different parts of the country, and they're always
access
talking about
to,
like Greek style pizza in
information of what is
Massachusetts and New
available out
England.
there,
And I always have to
and,
explain to them that like Central Mass,
knowing how to
Worcester
access this
specifically,
goal,
our
and the
Greek
difficulties
pizza
when they
is
come up
different
to,
than everyone else's
to
Greek pizza
get
because it's
access
actually
to
Albanian
funding.
pizza.
So
And
we
it's
just
a concept
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
very hard to
to
explain to
our
people.
organization, which is the Massachusetts
Yeah,
Organization
and it
of
fucking
African Descendants.
rules.
We
It's amazing.
I love
organization that
Worcester
has been,
Townie pizza is like the
helping
best pizza in the
the,
world. I don't care. It's so
immigrants,
good.
both
Is that a
documented
place,
and
Worcester
undocumented,
Townie?
and refugees.
No, like
growing
Townie
up
pizza, like just
country
like, you know,
to,
Burncoat
that would be
pizza,
a great
man.
name for
also help them get
It really
involved in
would
the
be.
community.
I thought I was
Townie
missing
pizza.
out.
At least people can be they can also grow and
Someone's
develop
doing a very
and
fought
in
over
other aspects.
bracket right now
So
about who has the best pizza in
we've
Worcester.
achieved a lot over the years. We help with
Ricky wants to
helping
run one
during the
for Seltzer
vaccination to
time
make
that
sure that they are also vaccinated.
quote
We help
unquote
with
is better.
Providing food for their access to
I don't
them, so they
even
can
want the
also
heat.
That's cool.
access to food.
It's not
so
worth
they
it.
can register, so they can also
Well,
participate
like
and vote.
Nobody
Olo
wins.
got
The only
in
way to
shit.
do that
Ol-
correctly is to be incendiary on purpose.
Biggest
You
key
you
is
just
that
like pick
Right.
the wrong
we
things to get people mad online.
Right.
Then you're
Just
doing
pick
it
on
right.
Aunt
Title
Tots,
12A and have
which
the
barely
city
is pizza.
manager work
It
with
is
the
not, but it is
Massachusetts
good.
Organization of African Descendants to provide access for this funding to
I love
this
it. The
population.
Telegram is
Thank
going
you very
all
much.
in on Worcester Eats as like the savior of their business. It's so
I
funny.
know, right? They're like, oh my
Not just
God, people are
now
reading
have
us.
Worcester what's going there.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah,
They,
Worcester what's going there. It's a new group that they just started up. I'm like, what? Why?
I came to the city.
Newton
of
Square is
Worcester in
such.
2006.
I mean, I love
I
Newton
went to
Square
school
pizza.
here. I'm speaking on 9P, by the way. Sorry.
Dude, the
school
chips
here, I
in
grew
Newton
up
Square
here.
Pizza, are you kidding me?
I made my home
Oh
here.
my
Can you get a
God,
sub?
that's
They
incredible.
give you the little
Started
hand cut
involved in the
chips.
community whenever the opportunity presented itself.
I went to high
And
school
those
with one of
chips
the kids that
always
owns
give
it,
me heartburn.
Now gone Joe DiMaggio League.
and I hated this kid in high school so much.
Serving
But that's
youth
how
and
good that
families through
place
a
is that
juvenile
I'll
justice
gladly go in
program named
there
Bridging the Gap.
and interact with him.
Through the Salvation Army, helping first-time offending teenagers get a second chance to set their past
That's one of the
straight.
biggest. That's one of the biggest
I've also
problems
worked at
about
juvenile
going to St.
jails
John's and not
where I
liking
was
it
able to
is
serve
that
young people who
for the
they
rest
were
of your
facing
life
their
you have to deal
consequences
with
of their
business
actions. I
owners
was
who
able to
are all in
counsel
your
them
graduating
one day
class.
at a time and help
So
them
many
learn
of
the
them.
skills that
And
they
I didn't
can
even
utilize when
graduate
they
from there. I only
reintegrate
made it
back
2
to
years, and I still
back
can't
to the
escape these
Worcester
people.
community. Today I work for
Very
Play
like
Family
real
Health,
estate
an
listing.
organization
I know that. I know
does a
them.
great deal of work with the community.
Every
I went to
friggin'
college in
restaurant.
Doing what I've been
Burlington,
doing for the
Vermont,
past
and
12 years, which
encountered
is serving
people
the
like
families
that
and the
came to
youth
view one
of
of our
Worcester.
apartments from that
To
were
many,
not
when they
from
hear
here
all of this that I've
originally.
just said,
That
I would
we
probably
also
sound like an ideal
just like
candidate to be a Worcester
happened
police
to both
officer.
land in Worcester.
Yeah, the world is
Believe it or
fake.
not, I
It's
am
crazy.
not because I'm a criminal, not because I don't have a good standing in the community, not because I lied in any part of the process, not because of my race, not because of my color, not because of my creed. No,
Because I like The
someone like
Office.
me who has done a great deal to serve this community does not qualify because
And
I
that makes
live
me
in
a
the right
pussy.
zip code. I think
Oh my
about the late
God.
Sergeant
Is
Derek
this,
Leto,
are you kidding me?
whose last words to me, the last words he spoke to me while I was being escorted out of a Worcester police orientation due to not being a resident, was not to give up and to continue to pursue my dream.
What?
As much as I have
This
done
isn't a real
this
thing,
Saturday,
though.
I will be at another Worcester police orientation.
No
possibly
Worcester
getting
cops live in
escorted out
Worcester.
again, because I, a devoted
They
member
need to
of this
reside when they get
community,
hired, though.
That's
chose
the,
the wrong zip code.
the training they do.
In 2020, there was a Spectrum
Oh,
News
wow.
article where it was highlighted after Councilwoman
I actually think that's
Haxiat
good, right?
raised the residency
I mean, they
question.
should force all the
The
cops
city
to
solicitor,
stay
he
living in
determined that the
Worcester
residency
throughout their
ordinances were
careers.
valid. He found that filling a position in city government ultimately comes down to the city manager's judgment.
They're probably the only public
But then
employees
how are
that
they
can
going to
afford.
treat it like a
Allow
containment
people who
zone
have
for
worked in
the
the city
society's
for 25
ills?
years to qualify to
True.
become
You don't want to
officers
live in the
state of
containment
Worcester.
zone if you're creating a containment zone.
Thank you.
It's bad strategy.
Here with one more.
It's just bad strategy.
So, Mayor, we have a virtual participant. I think it's Gemma Kamara, school committee member. I'll try to unmute the president now.
Because I'm saying, if you have the choice between living on the reservation or off the reservation, you want to choose off the reservation.
Having me here tonight.
Yeah, especially if you created it.
Exactly. Yeah. If you're maintaining the reservation, you don't want to live in the reservation. This is very simple colonial theory.
Heard Dr. Moore speak. So the Worcester's African immigrants make up more than 21% of Worcester's foreign-born population of roughly 38,000, with nearly a quarter coming from 15 African countries. The 15 African countries represented by Worcester alone are Burundi, Cameroon, Central African Republic, Cote d'Ivoire, Democratic Republic of Congo, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Ghana, Kenya, Liberia, Nigeria, Rwanda, Somalia, South Sudan, and Tanzania, to name a few. The Massachusetts organization was formed by Africans residing in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. As my colleague Dr. Moore has mentioned, we've been established since 2020, kind of very grassroots, actually. Doing a lot of
Millbury has to be the Ford F-150 capital of Massachusetts. It's like the amount of F-150s per capita in Millbury has to be among the highest in the world.
The vast majority of the African community, which many of them are some new immigrants, others who are citizens.
Speaking of Millbury, come on out March 31st. We have a show at Heartland Barber's new spot in Millbury, everybody. Laura Severus is
F-150 over there.
Get it? Yeah. Good luck with parking.
We have a business subcommittee that has worked really get the word out to, Black and brown African businesses about what was going on during COVID and all the opportunities about that was related to funding, which a lot of those business leaders did not, have the opportunity to apply to, because lack of education or awareness or, and awareness of the language, which was problematic. And so some of those communities did not, afford or were not available or had the opportunity to be able to receive those funding. And we see the same thing across the board for a lot of different things in the city, even though we know that, Black and brown African folks make up the voting population within the city of Worcester. And so with the work that we've done, food insecurity, we've worked with WPI, Student Clark University students to do research on to tackle food insecurity. We started that work at one of the Ghanaian churches on
Charlton is also a good one. Charlton is actually forward F-250 territory. Where in Millbury the 150 suffices. Charlton is where you get those ones with the 6 wheels.
Yeah, a little more bread.
6-wheel trucks.
Should be up there.
Thank you.
Support for the city council and city managers to recognize MOWAD and to help us with opportunities for the opera funding and other opportunities here in the city for all residents. Thank you.
Okay. We are going to move on.
He's so bad at that.
First, I'm going
Yeah.
to do a few
Okay.
business
All right.
stuff, and
All
then
right.
the,
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Here's the flyer for our
It's
new
like
show.
an Italian goodbye.
Oh, cool.
Hearings and audits. First is to
Killer lineup. I'm pretty excited about it.
do executive session
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
end of the meeting. Then
That's
we'll
sick.
do hearings and audits.
Yeah,
7,
it's
8,
gonna be fun.
7C.
Friday night.
Motions to open the hearing. All those
This
in
Friday?
favor, opposed, so ordered.
The March 31st. So
Oh, two
yes?
Fridays.
Next Friday.
2 Fridays.
Motion to close the hearing.
Hey, that's a Worcester lexicon sort of thing. It's to say Friday instead of Friday. Friday. It's like Joe Petty. Joe Petty would say Friday.
One resident for the
You ever heard that?
Friday.
I feel like that's my mom says it.
I don't think I've ever heard
Friday.
that. That might just be a me
Really?
being
Chandler.
from the area.
We have Laura Miller. We have Helen Wall.
That's a subtle one.
Welcome.
It is. You don't even really pick it up.
And,
Yeah.
I just want to welcome Jason Homer.
Like
Stephanie. I think Stephanie's still here from the chair.
what's the other one that's
For
real
the
subtle?
library. And want to thank you for the work you do. Do great work.
Wardrobe.
So the 3 members don't have to, but if you want to speak, you're more than welcome. You don't have to speak, but if you want to say a few words in your own.
Is this the library board?
Do we know? Do they have that opening because of that other lunatic getting on?
Opportunity. I want to say thank you also to the.
the hostage lady?
lunatic?
Here tonight.
I remember that it was over the summer. They made an appointment to the library board. I can't remember her name right now. The lady who was held captive by African terrorists for like a week or so. Well, we talked about this at length. You're gonna make me Google now.
Is Harriet Chandler going to the library board?
What's that?
As you all
Is
know,
Harriet
No,
Chandler?
they're good.
I'm not going to talk about the things you know.
No.
about tonight. I'm going to try to talk about the things you don't know.
Nah,
about.
she's not on the agenda.
I love books. I love.
No, she is.
reading. I love
What?
She
Worcester.
said, I know
I
I've
love
only been
reading
retired for 2.5 months,
Those
but that
things
doesn't
make a
mean you
difference
don't
to me.
want to be
When I came
involved
to
or
Worcester
something like
originally,
that.
I wrote
Wow.
book reviews.
They let Harriet Chandler on the library board, and I can't get on the fucking tree commission.
And the
Jesus.
reward was the book.
Horse shit.
And I was
You know what?
Or shit.
You need to put on your traditional Albanian outfit, and we need to march down to City Hall.
I spent 3 years.
That's right.
Working as the executive
Christina
director of the
Andrianopoulos.
And then
National Women's Committee.
Sit extremely still.
Christina Andrianopoulos is the lunatic that they put on the library board, and I think somebody quit as she was on.
We had almost 500,000 women who were members across.
Yeah,
the
you don't remember
country
that? She's the one that
who were involved
yeah,
with Brandeis through the
she
library.
was.
remember it very
She
well.
claimed to be kidnapped by some folks in Africa, but really she had just
Well, I
fallen
have
for like
some
a
experience
Nigerian banking
directly with
scam and flown there with
libraries
a bunch of money.
Yep. Yep.
To tell you
And then
that-
she got like a shocking amount of votes that we were like, wait, what happened?
Oh, and you probably don't know that for the last 2 decades, I've spent most of my time at budget time as the chief sponsor of the Talking Libraries. The Talking Libraries are so important. If you
I just
don't
looked up
know-
the
Libraries
Telegram
can't
story from the
talk.
time.
You don't know what it means to be a disabled person and not be able to read, and you suddenly have the Talking Library to turn to. It is so remarkable. And so I
Harriet
come to you
Chandler, let us drink beers in there.
So glad she brought that up.
multiple people who are also vying with me for this position to tell you that I think libraries may be in trouble, because I know that you read it too. You know that the libraries and librarians are at a point where people are beginning to say, let's not read that book. Let's not let that person be a librarian. And I don't know how you feel. I hope you feel as I do. That isn't what we're about. That isn't what democracy is about. And so I think maybe my experience as a legislator might be of help.
That really is a thing that's going on in America right
I
now.
would love to be.
They have
fill
up
that
to, I
extra
believe,
slot
10
on
minutes
the
because they're
library
speaking
board.
to a particular
Thank you
item.
very much
They've
for
been
listening.
nominated for the library board, so they get to just address. I don't think there is a cutoff.
Worcester City Council vote down Harriet Chandler challenge. Imagine. It's like
Retire
5-6.
her twice.
Thank you for considering me for the Worcester Public Library Board of Directors vacancy. I'm going to tell you what you don't know about me, and it's everything. So I got a lot to
We're gonna be here all night.
You're
Wow.
wondering,
God.
why would the city, the library...
Let's start
and
from the
Worcester
beginning.
citizens
When
benefit
I was
from my
3.
service? And I have 3 reasons for you. My perspective, my expertise, and my experience. So starting with
65
reason
million
number
years
1, my
BC.
perspective. I represent the voice
It
of
is
populations that are
not
truly
paid.
transformed
I don't-
from their
I-
access to
I-
the library.
none of the boards
I was a
paid,
child in a low-income
as far as
family,
I'm aware.
and now I'm a parent in a family with young children. Long before formal education starts, the library creates a gateway to a lifelong love of learning. It did for me as a child. And that love of learning, developed in my local library branch, motivated me throughout my journey as a first-generation college student. It continues to inspire me as I pursue my doctoral degree in educational technology today. Now, my husband and I have chosen Worcester to raise our own family.
Do you think
and I
Laura
would be
came here
honored to
tonight knowing she
represent
was
those of us
running
who are
against a former
revitalizing the
Senate
city
president?
As we instill a love of arts, research, and the libraries that cultivate them in Worcester.
No.
Reason number 2, my
Man,
expertise.
talk about a
I'm
short
knowledgeable
straw.
about the administration of library services. Some of my earliest memories take me back to my local library's summer reading program.
She's doing much better than I like books.
Feeling and placing
No
gold.
No, Harriet Chandler
Books.
Rosen on the WRTA board.
Literacy milestones.
Much better
Those
for
memories are what led me to pursue my first
Oh,
graduate
yeah.
degree, which was in library science. And they're also part of why I was recognized by the American Library Association as an emerging leader and by my university with an award for my superior performance in library professional practice. Finally, reason number 3, my experience.
That was a
I'm
loud one.
proven leader
That
both in
almost-
local
that got me good.
nonprofits and in companies that increase the access, equity, and affordability of education. I'm the president of a local nonprofit organization's board, and I've spent my professional life expanding the reach of education as a marketing executive.
But Laura, have you ever funneled hundreds of millions of dollars from the state budget into the city of Worcester?
Technology company.
Right?
Be honest.
What about the earmarks, Laura?
In these roles, I've hired to develop strong teams. I've budgeted.
How many libraries have you
Are
paid
you a
for?
member of the?
Impact,
Yeah.
And I've led strategic.
Are you the first female member of the Worcester Club, Laura?
I'll tap into this extensive managerial experience as a member of the Worcester Public Library Board of Directors. To recap, I'm the right candidate for this vacancy because of my perspective.
I want
my
to
expertise, and my
interview
experience.
for this
In me,
position. Just
Worcester
be
will
like,
gain an experienced board
we're
member
bringing
who
back the
values
big
library while
giraffe.
facilitating equal access to information and ideas.
Woo!
Leader who combines a lifelong passion for libraries with the
You
governing
can
skills
yell in the
and
library now.
and the communities that they serve to thrive.
I want to be on the library board of directors because I think you should be able to smoke weed in there and drink beers.
But you can only smoke it out of an apple.
Yeah, because that's what teachers have. That's what if I was a teacher, that's how I'd smoke weed.
Like a bookworm.
Oh my god! Hey, imagine if we didn't conduct public interviews for the library board of directors that everyone has to watch.
Imagine if we conducted public interviews for the city manager that everybody has to watch.
What about private interviews even?
Imagine if we interviewed for the city manager.
And the Fields Corner branch libraries.
I'm
This
loving
guy
how
with the
engaged
mustache.
the Albanian population is tonight. Most people leave when their item's done. These folks are sitting there waving flags.
Libraries were my second
They're
home.
wearing
That's
flags.
not just a cliche.
It's incredible.
I commuted
I
to
think there's only
college,
one
and I would
vacancy, but these are
to
much
enjoy the
stronger
Boston
candidates
Public
than the last
Library
go
main
around, I gotta
branch.
say.
And the joy of
Yeah,
sitting
one
at one of
one
those
opening.
desks with those great lights and calling
Am I
for a
coming
book
for better
and
now?
having someone deliver
A little
it
bit.
to you. I never
Okay.
felt so grown up. Or
Let me
so
know if y'all get
impressed by
another
libraries.
notification sound, and
I've
I'll just
loved libraries ever since.
keep
I've
the
often
microphone going
lectured
across
in
the room.
libraries under various grants of the
When you see all of us
humanities and
jump,
the
that's when it
NEA.
happens.
I've
Yeah.
always loved how libraries have
That's why I'm
evolved,
voting for
but
Matthew
they're
No
not
for
just
library
the
board.
silent place of books, but books have become the
The
emblem
only
and
member of the
not up
commenters
carrier
union.
of
No, I
knowledge,
don't care,
of
Yenni. I
information,
don't care.
of community.
He's,
I
he's
want
my
him to
vote.
stay
I
on
can do whatever
there.
I want.
Place which is
I
holding a
agree. He
citizenship
deserves to be on
class
there.
and is sponsoring a local art exhibit.
Apparently, they had a
While
public
other
comment for the
have
first
limited
time
digital
in
access,
ever
have that access at the library.
Really?
this
Being
week.
able to connect people during the
Was it
pandemic,
was it me and Bill
of being
saying
able
we
to
should be able to
still be the
smoke weed out of
Yeah, the
apples in the
library board.
library?
This is our civic community center. This
I
Do
would
the
ask
mini
that-
golf
we gotta
again.
be
to grow
I was gonna say I would ask they leave
Yeah,
the mini
do-
golf up.
I think
do the mini golf again, but make it so it's like better.
but the lady
Mini golf
Not so damn
playing.
expensive.
and
Big
you
clown.
can't go wrong in any of these.
Hey, it was a fundraiser.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, but I can go play mini golf inside over in Marlboro. Let's make it.
Should
Yeah,
I
but
go
it wouldn't
over to
be a
go
fundraiser.
Crystal Cave?
Wrong with these three appointments. So I want to thank all three candidates for coming out.
All right.
Remember
Time
when
for
you go to
blood
Crystal
sport.
Caves? Remember when you go to Crystal Caves and you get into like the first cave hole and you just full swing like you were driving it?
Yeah.
Remember those
Yeah, I remember
days?
my first cave hole.
We are going to.
Apparently, they're doing mini golf again.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, on our schedule this for. So
I'll bring the apple.
announce that.
Sick.
So these are the rules here. The city clerk shall call the roll.
Dude, I'll join you just for the
Yeah.
opportunity.
Main South Mom, there really is one obvious choice for this seat, and it's not Harriet Chandler, but let's be honest. Who's getting it?
City council should be elected to that position.
She's probably gonna get it though, right?
On the first ballot, the list of eligible candidates should be reduced by removing the candidate who received the least number of votes on the prior roll call. Roll call.
Councilor Bergman,
Harriet Chandler.
Councilor Deloria,
Harriet Chandler.
Councilor GA,
Harriet Chandler.
Councilor King,
Do not bite
None
the
of them
hand
had
that
a
feeds.
chance.
Harriet Chandler.
Councilor Nguyen,
Harriet Chandler.
Councilor Rivera,
Harriet Chandler.
Councilor Rose,
Harriet Chandler.
Councilor Russell,
Harriet Chandler.
Councilor Toomey,
Harriet Chandler.
and Mayor Petty.
Ouch.
Harriet Chandler.
Like
The second that
You couldn't even
she
throw Laura a
stopped,
single
that
vote.
was a yes.
Much appreciated.
I don't like what
Ouch.
the fuck is that? Like
Poor
that-
Laura.
So we go to petition.
I mean, she was obviously the best choice.
Yeah, seriously.
That's actually hilarious what just happened here.
Like,
She was like,
even
yeah, I'm
like-
pursuing a.
Holding the line to get the honorary street name.
That's one of the most Worcester things that's ever happened on the city council right
Right.
there.
And
Harriet
I
Chandler
would
is just
love-
like, bad things happen at libraries these days. Put me on the board.
I am, but I'm also really glad that Harriet Chandler brought up the listening libraries. Like, those
Yeah.
are so important, and it's something that gets
Yeah.
overlooked by a lot of people.
One thing I have to say.
Sure,
is
but
that
based on what the other two candidates we're talking about, I feel like they would have been,
proud
you know.
about being in dissent. And
my
family, as
those are the type of things where I'd love to hear
mentioned, was the, one of
like
those families in the
Attell
1960s
or two's
who
reasoning for
lived
that
on Beacon
vote.
Street. And
Like-
my grandparents
Yeah.
were in a three-family. They did walk
Yep.
to the factories. They
Well, I
walked-
That is
mean-
purely for my political future. I have no choice but to vote for
Albanians
Harriet
came here
Chandler.
for a better life,
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
more opportunity to own their own businesses. And for some of them, just for the freedom of being in the U.S. And I am once again very proud to be of Albanian descent, and I think this is an honor to be able to support this item. Thank you.
Thank you.
Donna Colorio is Albanian, but not like. Never mind. I'm not going down there.
Good call. That was excellent self-editing.
You can fill in the
She said an
blanks.
Albanian.
Really proud of the Albanian community here. Woo. So
the last year in my own country, my hometown of Albania, was 1997. And
Hometown of Albania.
that's the year that my family, like many others, like many
She said
here
in.
the audience,
Yeah.
Hometown in Albania.
Okay.
didn't love our country, not
Or she
because
meant
we
it
aren't proud
at the
of our
very least.
I'm sure
country,
she meant it. I was just
because
hoping to
It's
hear
not-
the actual
forced
hometown
us,
name.
generations before us.
You wouldn't even be able to hear it. Your brain couldn't comprehend it.
My mind would explode at the sheer mention
It's
of
an
it.
understatement to say that I feel pride, that I feel Crenari, that I feel pride for being who I am. I didn't get to where I am on my own. It's on the shoulders of Frankly and Greg and others before him who made it possible for new immigrants like myself to find a community in Worcester. When I think about George Castriotis Skanderbeu, a national hero that I learned about in school, that I recited poems in all of our national gatherings, I think of a lot of the values.
I'm not really seeing
that
anything
define us
in a
as
cursory Google search, but I think we should track down Laura and invite her to be a
that are
regular on the show.
here, what defines us
She's
as
going to be angry
Albanians,
now.
Not just the love of our
Yeah, hell
country.
yeah.
It's just not just
She
the
knows how the
Albanian
system's
flag,
broken.
it's the
She knows the game is rigged.
and the values that we
Let's
espouse.
have
And for
her.
me,
Let's
those
destroy
mean,
Harriet Chandler.
unity, they mean respect for
In
others.
retirement.
They mean a fierce loyalty to generosity and kindness. Besa, loyalty to each other, regardless of where we stand. And I try to pass those values to my young boys, one of whom holds the middle name Bashkim, which means unity in Albanian. I just want to thank Frankly and Greg and all of you for creating such a beautiful community for those of us that came here as foreigners.
Candy looks
And
asleep.
to the young people in the audience, I hope one day you'll
She
run
doesn't.
for
She
my
just doesn't
seat.
want to make any eye
I hope one day
contact with
you'll
any
run for
Albanian
Council
people.
Calorio's seat. Because
Flags
we
make
care
her
not just
uneasy.
about our community, we care about everyone.
Takes her
Did
back
she
to
just
January
offer up
6th.
Calorio's seat, but not hers?
Down here in Worcester
Think
through the
so, yeah.
festival and teaching others
That was
about
great.
the values and culture of the Albanian community. So I am so proud. I am incredibly grateful to the work that you all have put in this. I am a proud Albanian American. And I want to also highlight for our siblings.
Did you guys see that that graphic that somebody was sharing on Twitter last week about the statewide like city council races, the top like donation, like the top fundraisers? Jenny's in second place,
No.
which is great. Jenny's raised not second place for the state overall, but second place in Worcester. It's like somewhere around $6,000 as of last week. Candy already has $14,000, more than double anyone else's, and she's like second place overall in the state for city council races right now. Just
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
she knows what's coming.
I want to begin by thanking
Ah,
my
seeing her
colleagues,
lose would
What
just
is there
be
someone?
so
Is there someone coming for her?
for supporting
No,
Yeah.
but any
I've missed a
anyone
lot in the
come-
last
well,
3
there
weeks.
is. There
Okay,
will
cool.
be, but
Rob,
Do we
Rob,
have we heard of someone for
Belo-
4 yet?
Belota?
We know that it's
Rob
Lotta.
Lott is running for her like seat, and he's I mean I love Rob. He's great,
Okay.
and I think he's going to be a great candidate. But anybody running against her is a danger to her because she's such a
Especially, yeah.
about
Rob
the
Bellotta's
work
actually got like,
you think
yeah.
about trustworthiness.
But have
He's
we
got the
heard of
goods.
anyone in
That's
4?
really how we get better as a community. Tonight,
I haven't, no.
Not sure.
Oh, we have a MAGA guy in
There's
4. That's
there's a
cool.
MAGA guy in 4, but I meant other than the guy that I don't want in there.
Albania lead us as a council. We are the most diverse city council in the history of Worcester, and it intersects so beautifully. And I think about, we mentioned Connie Lukes. We have our city clerk here, and the
That's
growing.
a very good point, man.
Yes, our city clerk, who just recently made history, and again, we have history being made, here all over the council. And you think about the influential role of immigrants. I stand before you as a first-generation American. My family came here from the island of Bermuda. And
We'll find out
the
soon.
idea of small businesses, I can hear my dad right now. He was right. Work for yourself, right? That was sort of the immigrant way. And businesses all across Worcester are blooming. They're flourishing because of the values and the work ethics of our immigrants. And lastly, I'll say, I've said this for years, hopefully this is the fourth term I'm in. All folks want is access and opportunity. I look at the young folks up here, we have multiple generations, first generation American, second generation American.
Wait a second. Is it Ted Costas that you guys are talking about that's running for District 4?
Other countries.
Yeah.
That's what Jack just said.
Okay, isn't he the guy who just spoke for the Albanian thing, saying he was Albanian because he's Greek?
And it's going to be quite
Wait,
the
that
joy.
big guy?
That was Ted Costas.
The big guy?
Yeah, the big guy. Yeah. So it's if you go to his website right now, like it says both his parents immigrated here from Greece, but he just stood there saying that his father came from Albania.
As I pointed out that he said, "I'm Greek. I'm Greek descent. I mean Albanian descent."
All right, throwing this in the notes right away.
I mean, there is
There's-
crossover
There's big
because
time
the
crossover.
boundaries there kind of moved a lot for a while.
Well, and a lot of people
moving.
Well, he also
Yeah, a lot
just
of
said it
people-
out loud, though. I'm just highlighting what he just said with his outside voice. And his wife was the woman who ran like 5 years ago.
The eloquence of the
Jacqueline
description
Costas ran for that seat a couple years back.
to the Albanian community.
I recognized him,
and I
but I
strongly
don't
support
know
this,
where
and I
from.
look forward to this also being expedited.
Well, the other part is that a lot of people fled across borders at different times for different reasons, and a lot of people are ancestrally from Albania and emigrated to the U.S. through a pit stop of a couple generations in Greece. So
Yeah.
it's
Also,
there's
I
a-
worked for a. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
So
go
good,
ahead.
Anthony.
What has been presented here today is to be able to say.
I worked for a Worcester Greek
making sure
family.
that there's an understanding
Newton Square Greek family.
huge
Worcester Greeks and Worcester Albanians are very different people. There's a rivalry there, and they know. So definitely somebody is going to flag that Ted Costas thing. Yeah.
What's that?
Who's stealing poker?
Yeah.
And this name change is more than just a
Who's
name
crushing a Poland Springs bottle?
This is our city.
Oh, that's me.
Sounds like
what? Thank you, Mr. Chair. A lot's been said.
All right, see you guys.
This is just the stream of the mystery sounds.
From the Albanian community throughout the city. So I think it's incredibly important that
The first time
we do
anyone's ever
recognize,
cheered for K2 me.
the culture,
Yeah, really.
the heritage, and the history that they bring to.
This is where she really shines, pandering
to help
for no apparent
Yeah, why are we all doing this? Like the Albanian counselors who put the item on the agenda speaking, great.
Mr. Chairman, and
But
I
we really gonna go around the horn here?
One of the wonderful things
Guess so.
that I love about this city is
bike shedding,
the culture that people bring and make sure that other people.
There should be a rule against going around the horn where like when they decide amongst themselves that this is something that everyone speaks on, there should be a rule against that. You know, like everyone can't speak on every.
Someone has to be devil's advocate.
Yeah,
just
right,
nobody
right.
just said. I'll get up there and speak.
Someone has to get up there and go, I don't think the Albanians should get any credit.
I think that guy with the flag is dumb.
I
That's my
do
time.
need to say the guy I stabbed is Albanian, so yeah. And I only started to stab him after I found out that he was Albanian. I was willing to have a discussion up until that point.
Review it and hopefully we'll get some input from
George
folks,
Septon.
all different heritages along Salisbury Street who will have this sign up. I would just like a report from the law department for that meeting in the future, Mr. Chairman, to see if it's possible under our regulations that we just put in place so people understand. This is a new ordinance that we're only been dealing with for about a year. And when we do this, and I want to do it, I want to make sure it moves along and it gets done. But when we do it, it'll probably be only, I think, the fourth one.
Oh, is George doing devil's advocate shit here?
So in the other streets that we've done have been smaller streets. So I'd like a report from the law
He's doing
department
the.
with
We
this
need a
question
report on the
answered.
process.
If someone else came along on a different
George,
section.
no one loves a report on the process more than George
Another
Russell.
honorary name on a
He
different section.
always
So
asks for a report on the
not only for
process.
Salisbury Street, but just something we have to learn as we go forward with all these.
He's
long
always
drives.
confused about the process, but he's never
Helping
actually
other groups
confused.
and other folks
Yeah.
who are
Like,
interested in
He's just saying he's confused.
honorary names on
Yeah.
streets.
Like
And
when
if we
he had
are
to
we
run the mile in gym
eliminating
class,
that we
he just
name
wants
the
everyone to
whole
slow
section
down,
of any long street, are we going to be
let him
limiting,
catch up.
our ability in the future to rename or put a
Because
another
he's sly
name
like a
on
fox. He's a little minx.
put multiple honorary names. And it's important also for anyone who has an address on Salisbury Street, whether it be a business or institution or anything, to realize that we're not changing
Oh
the
my
name
God.
of Salisbury Street.
I
We're
just
giving it
clicked
an
on
honorary.
Ted Costas'
So I just
website.
want to make sure that message
I'm
is
asking
clear,
his bot a
to the
question.
public, but I look forward to
It
moving
looks
this
like there's a
along.
podcast coming up soon.
I'll be supporting it, but
Ted,
making sure that we-
Ted, do you
Costas
know
has a podcast?
I think the city
does your
solicitor can
webmaster
speak
know what
for now.
vector graphics are?
Is the solicitor?
Ted Podcastas. Nope.
Ted Costas district4.angelfire.com.
Through the chair to the counselor, the ordinance says that it's only 2 contiguous blocks or 1 designation for honorary street. You just can't have more than 1 designation within the same already designated area. So a very long.
George
street,
Russell,
you
what
have
the fuck are you
honorary,
doing?
Street names, but they're
Getting a legal opinion on this from the guy who doesn't know the laws, like for no reason. Just let him name the street.
Also, it's very funny
This guy
because it's
doesn't
not
know.
even officially a name change. It's an honorary like street name. So
Yeah,
as
it's
we
like,
know,
doesn't matter even a little bit.
no one calls them that. They just call it by whatever the fucking street's already named.
Try and define that and work within the ordinance, and we'll be happy to move it along.
I think he's basically trying to be like I think he's thinking if someone else wants to name that part of the
Thank you
street
to everybody
or
coming out tonight.
something.
This is important and proud to
Which
support
I'm gonna
this.
do.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
And he's been part of the history of
Right. Brian, are you
Worcester,
still on
and the
Ted's
future of the
site?
city of Worcester too, a big part of it. So
yes,
I just want to thank
Go to the
Councilor
bottom.
Haji and Council Corio.
What is
for
that
putting
group
on,
photo
and,
of? It looks
we
like
are
they're
going to send
waving
that
Brazilian
to,
flags.
Public Works, the Council Russell's committee, and it'll be posted. I'm sure you'll be.
They definitely are. That is
notified.
the
Let the clerk
that is
know.
a World Cup 1994 photo, I believe. Let's
Okay,
tin
all those in
tin
favor?
eye that
Okay,
photo.
order. Thank you for
There's
coming out.
definitely a Brazilian flag over in the corner there.
And that whole section right above it, the platform section, that is definitely just from the template. All of the text there is just from the template.
9C, 9D, and
Dude, his
9E.
picture is like that
value of
Instagram
being
page,
connected.
ordinary
Are we there
people
for those-
memes.
Those in favor, opposed, so ordered.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
9F. to
Okay, so if
9K,
you
we're gonna put
go,
traffic parking.
I'm gonna drop this in the private chat and in the comments. But
Those
if
in
you
favor,
go to
opposed,
reverse image
ordered.
search this photo,
9L,
it
we're gonna refer
comes up
to
as dozens
Veteran
of
Memorial
campaign
Parks and
websites.
Recreation Committee.
That's amazing.
Those in favor, opposed,
Susan
so
for
ordered.
Congress.
132
9M, we're gonna set a
Freeman.
hearing for March 28th. at 6:30 p.m. Those in favor, opposed, so ordered.
GOP.club.
9N, Michael Grandone requests the council consider contracting state legislature to the legislation to remove college and nonprofit
It's a
status.
Shutterstock photo
The real
for
estate
titled
holdings
1,000
tax service
fans.
properties of the city of Worcester to payment of said taxes to the city of Worcester. Isn't that the MO? Council Bergman, followed by Council, either one.
That's so
Council Chairman.
sick.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I don't know what
It
your
also-
intent is on this. A number of us, myself
GoDaddy
included, have
website
spoken
builder.
over the years.
It appears as the cover photo of
frustration
a textbook called The Human Experience Reader, which is an introductory
Having
sociology
looked at this long and hard,
textbook.
I want to be realistic,
good.
and I want
This
our
is so good.
expectations to be managed that way. There's nothing the city of Worcester can do to change that at the local level.
They've
It
messed
has to
with
be
the
done at
mics.
state
They
and
make it
federal
sound like
level.
it's area
If your
mic
intention
now
is
and
to
not
send this
the.
anywhere, put any energy into it,
You're gonna
I'd
need a
say
file.
don't do it.
Okay, I was gonna file it.
I'd say don't do it for 2 reasons. It's a waste of time unless the state and or federal level representation wants to weigh in and make that change. And number 2, it continues to create a narrative that I think all of us have heard over and over again is what are we doing to prevent this? And we've raised our hands up and we said we've done everything we can as
What is this
local
item?
city councils, those of us that support, trying to get more equity as far as
Go to
everything,
Ted Costas'
particularly
website.
larger, nonprofits.
Look at his picture.
stepping in, and we just can't do
And
it for local.
just
offices.
imagine it
So
saying
I don't
something
want
like,
these kind
"I
of-
love Taco
So my
Tuesdays."
motion is
That's the motion. Councilor Toomey?
I'm waiting
Thank
to
you, Mr.
watch The
Chair.
Mandalorian until
Counselor-
Thursday.
Bergman's correct that almost all of us, if not all of us, have in the past addressed this issue and brought it up.
I'm gonna make one right
He
now.
is correct that it's under the state.
I have strong feelings
legislature,
on string cheese.
Prerogative to be able to address this. But I did just recently in a meeting a few months.
Oh, I got it. I got it, dude.
Actually
I got that
asked
one.
that the administration address this with our legislature to see if we can't carve
Sorry.
something out.
Couldn't catch the
within
mute button in time.
The current Dover Act. And I think it's important that we do address this because
What could
there's
we
very
do?
little that we can do moving forward to expand the tax base. And I think that this is an important one. So
Thank you.
we have addressed it.
Okay, so motions to file.
I figured this
All
was
those in
better than
favor,
Kathleen.
opposed, so ordered. We are on 9-0. Geoffrey Kilborough requests the council requests the manager hold an information session
Jeffrey.
for the BIPOC event organized to clarify the changes. to
Just
the rules
because it starts with a
representation
G doesn't mean.
process for hosting festivals and the vendor and spaces managed by the park department. So we'll send that to
No, interesting. What do we got?
Councilor Rivera.
Thank you. Just what number was that? 9-0.
A lot of Donna Calorio.
Just 1 second here. Just want to look at
Kilborough,
it.
you already spoke on this? You haven't spoken on this. Oh, okay.
I spoke
Sorry.
on this.
I think I got a good one here.
It's
This is
gonna
funny.
be a long night if we're already losing
No,
track
just
of what item we're
wanted
on.
to say this is an issue that's come up repeatedly over the last number of years. I know I've met with City Manager Augustus as relates to making sure that our BIPOC event organizers and organizers in general are very clear on changes. And I guess the question that I do have for the administration, when it comes to sorts of changes that occur as relates to the matter pertaining to 9-0, to what degree are the folks that generally are applicants?
I
Are they
took the
given a role
screenshots
in
of
a
said
voice
Facebook
in the
posts and was
changes
the
that
one
occur?
sharing them on
Or is it
Twitter.
Sort of commission thing.
So
or
yes, I have
administrative,
seen Jose Rivera's Facebook
in the
posts.
best interest
What
of the
what are the
city.
likes? What's
They're,
the story here?
Oh, they're bad. They're like anti-vax, not just COVID anti-vax.
To the council. I
On
don't know
top
historically what
of
the
a
law
lot
has been.
of like
Oftentimes the
this
Parks
many people have
Commission
survived
takes the role of
COVID
identifying
instead of
policies.
focusing on the deaths.
But I've taken
And
a proactive approach.
a lot
Nice,
of
nice.
really
I've asked
not
my
so
chief
great
of staff and
LGBT
also some members of
things.
the cultural office and a Parks Commissioner.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
there's
really
some pretty
bad stuff.
problematic stuff in there.
Met with
Yeah.
I'm
He
gonna
hates
be. I'm
pronouns.
trying to get them loaded up into a folder I can share them on. Just that way, all like, because I've got like 60, 70 screenshots.
Yeah,
or
yeah, that's a
something
good
like
idea.
that. So
with the process
I'm gonna
of the
make a
application
folder of
and
it just so
streamlining
people
the
can
work,
just see it
this
and
is
use
one
it
of
as
the
needed.
goals of the cultural plan as well. And so we're committed to making sure that it's not just left in the hands of the Parks Commission and the administration.
This guy doesn't care about
Collaboration
arts.
with the partners and the folks who have been involved in the creation of these festivals and activities around the city have a seat at the table to share their thoughts and ideas.
Travis,
on
check
how
your
to make
phone.
this process.
I sent you something.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, okay. On it.
When I think about this,
But I
particular,
put it chat.
challenge and opportunity. It's an opportunity to access public spaces for our residents. The challenges that it comes with oversight and governance. The importance of accessing those spaces is always at play. I've had a number of folks over the past few years come to us with concerns about not being able to access soccer
stuff, Bill.
fields, for example, from communities. of
Thank
color.
you.
And they've been trying for years. And I don't know.
I'm gonna submit that one to ordinary people memes.
Just a general lack of rectangular playing fields, period. But the more that we can do to be communicative, and I appreciate the new approach that's going. But I would also ask that the new approach that you're taking, that be kind of rendered to writing and provided to the council. So when folks have questions for us, we're able to answer them. You know, I hope there's a quick turnaround and meeting for this. Thank you.
Thank you. What the gentleman speak first?
Thank you. Good evening, Worcester City Council. My name is Jeffrey Killebrew, and I am a resident of Worcester, Mass. And as was submitted, I would like to request an information session specifically for cultural event organizers to clarify any changes in the rules or application process for hosting festivals and to be a vendor.
So
in
Jeff
spaces
Killebrew
managed by the Parks
runs
Department.
the
I
Fam
was
Jam
informed that there will be
festival
changes to the vendor
that
application
happens in
process
Elm
that were
Park.
not addressed at the most recent information session for events and sports in
Good
the
dude.
parks. Rules are changing, and I want to ensure that they let us know what they are. According to 2.4.g of the Worcester Cultural Development Plan, they want to review city regulations to make public spaces more user-friendly for organized events and for public art, simplified process and rules for use of parks and other public spaces, update and simplify public space scheduling process, work to remove barriers from successful implementation of public art initiatives such as the design ordinance and fees. Encourage actually busking in high pedestrian foot traffic areas, facilitate street vending with simplified permitting.
For what it's worth,
now
he's also the drummer
the
for
Worcester Research
Poets
Bureau,
Cauldron.
in
That's what I heard.
collaboration with others, just released a never-before-seen map showing the redlined communities of Worcester. I would like to see an application, applications that have been submitted, approved, or denied for the last 5 years. And if you have any other data that shows strategic placements of people from disadvantaged or underserved communities, I would like to see which applications have come from those groups in those areas. Stakeholders in support of this information session have also shown interest in attending due to their own past challenges. If processes were more transparent and equitable, organizers would host more events, more BIPOC entrepreneurs could start businesses as street or park vendors. Performers and artists could start businesses as buskers. This information session would be appreciated towards our common goal of economic and cultural development in the city of Worcester. So my call to action is that you would approve this information session. Just to give a little bit more about my experience, I've been on both sides as a vendor, a street vendor at Elm Park, and also hosting a festival through my nonprofit organization. And as a vendor, I've lost thousands from my investment in order to be there and not being able to return.
Yes, buskers are allowed.
And not to mention just,
and so are food carts, but the process for getting the permits to do so are a nightmare.
As a host, as a festival, I know that there are rules
typing?
between us as we talk. They're not the same. Everybody has a different experience. Everybody has a different process. And back to my experience as a vendor, I started at Elm Park with a business idea with my daughter. And we were able to build relationships with people in the community within that amount of time that we're there. But then due to challenges, we weren't able to return. And the people from the community are asking, well, when are you going to come back? They really enjoyed what we're doing, but I can't give them with a surety when we're going to return.
Thank you. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Okay.
I thought you were done.
But yeah, well, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Thank
Oh,
you.
he did mean to
Councilor
cut you off.
Verified by Councilor Tuma.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I think that they spoke on it really well. I think, and I appreciate the city manager and Councilor King bringing this, and all of this having, the words that Councilor King stated and what the city manager, I think if we can just have this information out and get it clarified, I think it just helps to bridge relationships and be able to kind of, have this open kind of door for folks. I remember being here in the city of Worcester and not having any cultural
That's right.
events.
You don't
And I
have
remember
to
the
talk
first
on this
time,
stuff.
that we had the event, the Latin Festival that was at Elm Park, and then it moved to Institute Park, and then where we are, and then all the different types of festivals. And to be honest, that's one of the things that I actually brag about when I talk about the city. When I talk about Worcester, I'm like, there's never a weekend. You actually have to kind of figure out, what can I do, whether it's arts, whether it's cultural, whether it's like anything on one of the restaurants. So I think for our communities of color, again, it goes back to kind of that sense of belonging. It's about celebrating so much more, you know, for our community, our culture, our community, whether it's like for
Do you guys like
children, for
Jamaican
youth,
food?
faith-based, whatever that is.
Unique
The more
Cafe
we can
opened
open
up
that
in the
level of
old
communication, the
Blanchard's
better it is in
Diner.
order for us
Yeah,
to
yeah.
continue to
That's
bridge
so friggin' good.
government.
I still haven't been in
Yeah,
there
I
yet.
haven't dined in a
together.
while.
Oh,
Thanks to the
it's good.
administration for really, you know,
She makes
making this
a
priority
jerk
and moving
chicken
it forward.
sandwich with plantains on it. I don't usually like plantains, but
Thank
they're
you,
good on
Mr.
that
Chair.
sandwich.
So one of the things that has
Sorry, I'm just
been a
sitting here bored
constant
and thinking about what
discussion,
I'd rather be
and
doing,
I
and
know
eating jerk
we're
chicken is at the top
having
of
a
the
lot
list.
of changes right now, has been communication between departments. Very often.
I'm just thinking about stuff for Ted Costas to
I
say.
know that there's an effort now to change the way
It's pretty
that
entertaining.
communicate, thanks to your efforts, Mr. Manager. And I think that.
Did you hear about Tommy Brady?
That
Pretty good.
everybody works together and that all of that information is put in one place for everyone and written in such a way that it's clearly understood and that have access right from the website so that you don't have to dig through all sorts of things. Maybe a link, so you want to have an event, a cultural
Kathleen,
event. Or
I know you watch the
it's
show.
probably on
You should
the
check out
cultural,
Toastmasters. You know what's called filler words,
page,
and you don't have
but
to
I
keep
think
talking.
having
You can
that on
just
the
stop
front,
talking.
as a small box. Or
What, you mean as like a public speaker who gives a shit about what they sound like?
I will say that the
Yeah.
communication level.
Oh wow,
You
that
know?
would be that would be insane for the Worcester
especially
City
for,
Council to do.
people from different cultures.
I
We just
recognize that it
heard
was an
about,
insane thought. I'm just,
Moab.
trying
We
to,
just heard about the
help
Albanian
her out.
community.
This
I'm
is
not gonna
fucking
knock
Worcester,
her on
kid.
that.
A number of other communities.
I use
So
filler words all the time.
I've heard people have said.
I say like every other fucking word, and I don't care.
I applaud you for starting the effort.
It's something I didn't recognize until I did Toastmasters. I had a shitty desk job at a civil engineering company for a while, and they paid for Toastmasters.
Okay.
Sick.
Now
I don't
I'm
know if I can
astutely
offer
aware of
this,
it.
but Councilor
excuse me
Toomey,
for one second. No, hang on 1 second. We're on the council. I think you've spoken. Have you spoken?
I
on this?
did speak, but she
Yeah.
said something. She
No,
said
you
about the. All right,
Hang
go
on
ahead.
for 1
Go
second.
ahead.
We'll
Go ahead.
we'll get back to you in a second. We'll go.
Oh, Jennifer.
Council Nguyen, then. Yeah.
What happened?
Okay, go through.
Jennifer Gaskin was about to rip to me a new one.
I just want to.
Petty said he'd go to her after, though.
To follow up on the gentleman's request for the city manager to do a report. So I would like to request a report on how we're building an equitable events and vendors in our city. So let's report on that, which could possibly include a list of resources and contacts for folks. I would also like to request.
Oh, thank you, Dorothy McWalters.
A DEI person, staff that does this kind
Oh,
of
that's
work
amazing.
for the external community. Because I
Thanks,
think
Delaney.
it's important when we think about DEI and our next chief diversity officer.
Brendan
to
and
be
I were there
part
too.
Of the city, but
Yeah,
also that we
they were
need
man
one
in the
that
desk.
support our community members.
Why didn't you come say hi?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just wanted to make sure Mr. Killebrew's request doesn't go unnoticed. I want to make sure that he
Thanks,
worked
George
on
Shepton.
something
Seems
that
like my mic
was
got
that we
disconnected
wants to
somehow
make sure that there's a
digitally.
sort of an equity report,
Oh, I
an
got another
equity
goal from
audit
Bill.
in the past 5 years for us to understand what the gaps
Can you all hear
are.
me
So I
again
think
now?
that report
Yes. Yes.
is submitted to the community so we can understand the gaps, and love Council Nguyen's order as well to have a DNI person look at that and then partner it with solutions so that folks in the BIPOC community get what they deserve. Thank you.
Okay, Council.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
God, it's cracking me up so bad. I'm literally not listening to this at all.
The last several years.
I'm just
I
thinking
hear
of shit
a
for
lot
Ted
of
Costas to say.
I'm asked by my constituents to help with
That's
this
fine. We got you.
paperwork and fill out
Yeah.
what they need or call and ask the questions. So I do think the.
I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah, you have. We'll handle this. You have more important work to do right now.
I'm doing the Lord's work right now.
Exactly.
Certainly
Exactly.
has been in the last year. It's been a little easier than it's historically been. But I know firsthand with a lot of different folks in my area, my constituents who have called upon me to ask me to follow up and do the paperwork and try to figure out what's happening. And again, I think that we're much better at how we used to be, but I think it would be great if we did have that information readily available. And even, quite frankly, for somebody like myself, I mean, there's each year, there's a few organizations that I'm the person who really is doing all of that paperwork. And quite honestly, the first time that I did it,
Quite honestly,
I
nobody
was pretty
cares.
lost and confused. So I certainly understand
Wow,
where people
Marcus.
are. It has gotten
Marcus.
better, but I do, look forward
Coming in hot.
Aggressive,
With
bro. I thought we were friends.
just, it is literally always this boring. Yeah.
I already said she's going to speak at the end. So,
All right, so you're going to
okay.
do that, okay. Mr. Chairman, my brief comment is this: this shouldn't be complicated. To have
This should have been complicated.
a document that folks have to do, it shouldn't be complicated. It should be something very, very simple, clear, concise, that every group, no matter who they are, no matter where they're from, that it's just easy, even a fill in the blank thing on the city website. So that
They've
you
been
don't
having
have
the same conversation every time a news round of festivals events happens, going back to when Start in the Street happened. I think they're 25 years now, somewhere about that.
Right.
your staff, Mr. Manager, through you to.
Well, because they all just want to talk about it.
That
They
sounds
don't
like
wanna actually
Worcester.
do anything about it. Yeah.
Make it so that it can.
Well, they also can't do anything about it. We can the city council could talk to their blue in the face and request the city manager to make the process smoother.
Very briefly, Mr.
And the city
Chairman.
manager's office can go, nah.
Tend to be an expert.
Yeah, like,
on
You
that.
think you also fire the city manager though?
However, it seems to me.
Yeah, I don't think that would ever happen though.
Well,
Ever.
but would
It
and,
would take
and
something
can are
really
two-
egregious.
Department that's issuing.
But they would never even try. I'm saying like they don't bother trying to hold him accountable or anything like that. When ultimately they have the ability to do it, they just don't, and everyone just kind of takes that
And we're going to
because
notify you on such and such a date soon thereafter whether it's complete.
because
It should
we
be a
always
process
have.
where if it's not complete, it's a gotcha. That
Wow,
you're not
Marcus
gonna be able to do
actually
the
shut
event.
down
It
our
should be
stream on
the
Facebook.
opposite. It's not complete for the following reasons.
What do you mean?
Notification well
It's
ahead
not,
of time.
our stream is no longer working on Facebook.
I did get that
He-
notification too.
He downvoted it so hard that it shut down.
Worthwhile for them to make that
Epic.
because the application is so outstanding. It just seems.
I didn't even know we were on
we were
Facebook.
live on
What's happened until now. I don't know how many festivals. we have.
Just on the Wootenanny
It
page.
seems to me we don't have that many festivals where we can't donate some staff time.
Bill, why do we keep talking at the exact same time?
I agree. We
No
hear-
Does this mean everyone in the chat should be heading over to Facebook to report Marcus for hate crimes on Facebook?
Yeah,
so,
pretty
yeah.
much. Yeah.
As far as a negative,
I feel
Hypothetically?
bullied.
I only hear about advertisements for the events to take place.
I'm getting text messages from Marcus.
I know I'm repeating a lot of what's been said, but I hope
He did
it's the
that.
last
Tell
time
him he
folks
did
are
that.
concerned about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
He did
And,
that.
so I have a motion to suspend the rules on Ms. Gaskin speak. All those in favor, opposed, so ordered.
First, I
He
just
said,
like to
"Dude, I
offer
was
that it is
trolling.
a
I was
special
gonna
events
put a
Hold on,
guide
hold on, hold on, hold
in
on.
your defense city manager. However, it seems to me that nobody reads it, and it hasn't been updated in the past 10 years that we've been doing our event. I will also point out that a number of, we've kind of harped a little bit on the Parks Commission, and I will say, frankly, that is the most difficult department for us to deal with in doing our event. And last year, we removed the portion of the event that was on the city commons because frankly, I did not want to have to deal with them for the city commons as well. However, the Thursday before our event, which happens on Sunday, I was contacted by the Parks Commission and told that we have to pay for the city commons, or at least the front. We had to pay for staff to be at city commons in the front of City Hall on the Thursday before my event. So to your point, a gotcha at the last minute when there was nothing we could do. I just had to pay, right?
I've heard
so
that. That's come
There
up.
is, like I said, a guidebook.
If I
but
remember
nobody's
correctly, it was like
following the
$600
rules
too.
or
It
reviewing
wasn't
the
like
guidebook
cheap.
or using it as a tool to help us as event organizers. The special events application is a paper application, which is at least 10 pages long, that you have to fill out and send in by email or by, snail mail or whatever. It's a completely inefficient process. In addition to that, you also have now the parks application, which you then have to, I usually spend my Thursday and Friday running around to different city departments to have them sign off on this parks application that I then have to get to the parks department to get my permit, which usually does not happen until Friday. And then their electrician calls and yells at me about how he wants to go on vacation on Sunday, but now he has to come into work. So the process is broken. We've been doing this process for 9 years, this year being the 10th, and every single year, the same things come up, new things come up, and things just fall out of the sky between Thursday and Friday. So it's honestly to the point where I almost feel like we're being challenged to the point where they want us to walk away. I feel like we're getting, little petty things that come up. For example,
hey, that's Joe's
last year what came up, there was a report of public intoxication, which came to me from the Parks Department, which it shouldn't have come from the Parks Department, but we won't get into that. About public intoxication. Why is public intoxication different at the Worcester Caribbean American Carnival than it is at St. Patrick's Day?
Bam.
Uh-oh.
So
Now you did it.
there's something that's happening here that
He's fucking
is
right. He's absolutely right.
They were all
more
carrying
than
those fucking
just about
jugs.
rules and policy. It's about policing people and policing.
You can only
people's
drink out of red Solo
Or
cups.
at least
in
that's what
Worcester.
is happening to us for the Caribbean American Carnival. So I just wanted to put that out there as well. Thank you.
The Caribbean American Carnival is one of the coolest days in Worcester.
This is
I'll just make a motion.
this all stems from. Oh wait.
The city manager, if we could work with the Parks Department to have a revision of that handbook if it has been 10 years old, and also to maybe have a public hearing on the handbook so other committee members and leaders can come in and offer maybe some insight, because
Galaxy Brain Calorio over here.
universal for all festivals.
Bridging the divide.
The city. So there shouldn't be one group is treated one way and one group is treated the next, which I'm not saying it is or it isn't, but I think the standardized booklet in some kind of revision in some kind of.
No, but she is saying that it is because she's involved with a couple of different festivals, so she's around it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I just want to clarify a bunch of points here that were discussed here tonight. First of all, I agree with Jennifer and I agree with Jeffrey in terms of the system is broken and we need to fix it. Totally agree with that.
Ruthless, Bill.
When I was a project manager 11 years ago under the city manager O'Brien, I was charged to creating that handbook from the cultural office. At the time, the cultural office who left, her name was Victoria Hall, and that was dumped in my lap to try to figure out. And I wrote the handbook and I wrote the application 11 years ago. That currently is not part of the Parks Department. That was a special events application outside of the Parks Department that if you have an event that did not include it in the parks, then you can have and we created a committee with representatives from multiple departments to be able to come in and you can sit down and go through the process and discuss what applications, what permits were required, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That process in itself has worked in some cases. In some cases, it hasn't worked. The Parks Department has their own application and their own policies and processes in terms of how they go through it. And so there's a disconnect sometimes, and we try to build a connection point between both departments and the special events application, the Parks Department. There's also other applications that require permitting, whether it's sound permit from the police department.
So he's just making their point.
DPW, where there is,
And yeah, many people who work at City Hall are racist.
Page or 2-page information for people to report back on the event, because depending on the event, it's completely different. Each event is completely different.
Yeah, he's basically just being like, yeah, this shit's fucked up, dude. Someone should fix that.
It's like he doesn't realize he's the one that's supposed to fix that.
Yeah, someone should really fix that.
understand that there is a
If only there was like a chief executive of the city that had the control to change this stuff.
literally within months.
Wait, that's not Petty's job?
Met with Jennifer,
No, it's not. It's his actually. I don't know.
Parks Department and our cultural
This
office.
dude really, Troubler 50. You're right. It's embarrassing when he speaks. That's why they didn't interview him.
Sometimes when they pay permits, they got to pay individually different departments. Like
exactly.
and they gotta write multiple checks. Is there a way that we provide one check? What's the lump sum? We totally agree that there's a broken system that we need to fix within our special event process.
That's awesome.
And because that process
Oh, let's see if he fixes it.
articulated, it's not a process that's streamlined, it creates the inequities. So I don't think the inequities may be intentional. That's what I don't think. I think our system is broken and we need to fix the system so that we can prevent the inequities that are happening.
It is cool that, like, to stave off the allegation that City Hall is being racist about the Caribbean Carnival, he has to be like, yeah, the whole thing's fucked up.
You're going to send that to the city manager?
Wow.
We're going to send that to the city manager.
Favor, opposed, so ordered. Okay.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Grandone, request that the residency requirements.
So if you need an example, this goes back a number of years, but when the Latin Festival decided to move downtown and it was getting bigger and whatnot, that was when the Common was redone, got rid of the reflecting pool and whatnot. The city council had this massive debate. It went on quite some time to decide whether or not the Common should be a park or a cemetery.
Here, I'll restart it. Sorry.
And no, it was really wild just to watch like how hard some of the councilors were going to make the argument that because of the old memorials down there, that it should be considered a cemetery and not considered a park, and you can't hold public events in a cemetery. So it basically would have like banned anything from
That's
taking
so
place
crazy.
on the Common. So yeah, like these folks definitely have a history, and there's folks that are sitting here now that were part of those conversations. There is a long and storied history of trying really, really hard from keeping some people from doing shit in
certain people
in public. I'm not going to say who, but some people. Yeah.
So I think it would be good for the council if we could get an update on what is happening there.
I don't think. Oh, I thought we were going to talk about the name of the plaza. I was like, I don't know if we can handle two name discussions in one day.
Answer the questions now because several folks are now beginning to ask, and people are pretty frustrated over what's taken place up to this point, which seems to be not much.
Through the chair to the councilor, I think it's good to just give you a brief update now because I think by the time we get your report, hopefully it will be nearing completion. So
Then I don't need the report.
Right. Right now, the estimated date for completion is sometime in May, probably mid to late May. We were hoping to be a little bit farther along in the fall when the weather set in. Some of the factors that have kind of contributed to that delay include
when the weather set in.
You know, the very old infrastructure on Main Street.
What
as we saw
weather?
with the other Main Street streetscape improvement elements. There were some unexpected encounters when we did that. And then secondly, particularly with some of the supply chain stuff, I hate to feel like a lot of people pandemic supply chain, that it's a common easy scapegoat, but there are some electrical features incorporated in the plaza, and there is a significant lead time right now on electrical components. And so that was another reason for some of the delay, but we're in good shape now. And the current completion date is, like I said, mid to late.
So,
Tara is grumbling at his bullshit.
Mr. Chairman, through you to Mr. Dunn, I know there was a concern just say a week and a half ago about in the plaza and not doing all the.
I'm back on my bullshit.
As well as all the Wi-Fi, and then going in and digging up in front of this plaza again. Are we on track to have all of that completed as well, and not sort of going in after the fact trying to install the communications end of?
Should I be expecting a text message?
Through the chair to the councilor.
Yeah, I'm just doing
not
it.
aware of any component associated with this project that's being deferred to a later date that would require reopening it. The Wi-Fi element, I'm less familiar with off the top of my head, but I know in terms of the electrical infrastructure, we're not deferring anything to a later date that would then cause us to come back in and tear it up again. I know we are working
You're not
through,
wrong.
there's kind of a piece beyond the plaza on that section of Southbridge Street as you think about the area between Stevens Block and the federal courthouse that we're working through that wasn't part of the Main Street streetscape. So trying to think about, can we kind of button up that kind of last remaining section of the sidewalk, but the plaza itself, I'm not aware of any kind of scope of that that's going to be deferred and then have to be ripped up again.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
I like how they bring in Peter Dunn to explain all the confusing stuff, and Eric Batista just gets to like, just riff off the dome. He's like, yeah, shit's pretty fucked up around here.
Information relative to the reappointment of Paul Foley to the Trust Funds Commission. I just want to thank Paul for his service. Transmitting information communication over the appointment of Timothy Margariaro to the Conservation Commission. I want to thank Timothy for his service. Next time is transmitting information communication over the appointment of Richard Cruz, who spent the night here in the City Council room, to the License Commission. So thank you for staying tonight, and thank you for your service. Transmission information communication over the appointment of Myla Montenegro of the Thomas J. Early Scholarship Committee. Thank you for your service. And transmitting information communication of the appointment of Elaine Evans to the Worcester Ballpark Commission. So the motion is to file these items.
The Worcester Ballpark Commission.
All those in favor, opposed, so item. Audit. I'm going back. I didn't. The auditors of Council.
They should have had a Worcester Garage Door Commission. Am I right, guys?
On the other right.
We could have had friggin' Springsteen here, baby.
A Worcester Catalytic Converter.
I'm telling you, catalytic converter buyback program. It's smart.
Waterhouse and reappointment of Alexander Elton to the Urban Forestry Tree Commission.
Councilor Bergman? Yes. Councilor Calorio?
Yes.
Councilor Aguirre?
Yes.
Salt in the wound, Shaner.
Councilor Carlson? Councilor Nguyen?
I'm going to run for city council on one policy candidacy, catalytic converter buyback program.
Yes.
I bet you'd win.
Next time, the adoption of the order revoking the city acceptance of Massachusetts General Law 149, Section 33B.
Mr. Chair.
Oh, by doing so? No, it's IGF.
I'd just like to make a motion, just like I did.
Yeah, that was really, really fucking corny.
There are a couple of other items for disposed properties to ask the city manager if he could consider putting the proceeds into the Affordable Housing Trust Fund.
Yep. Okay, on that item, all those in favor, opposed, so ordered. On this item, we need a roll call. Roll call.
Councilor Bergman? Yes. Councilor Calorio?
Yes.
Councilor Aguirre?
Yes.
Councilor King?
Yes.
Councilor Merrill Carlson? Councilor Nguyen?
Yes.
Councilor Rivera?
Yes.
Councilor Rose?
Yes.
Councilor Russell? Yes. Councilor Toomey?
Yes.
Mayor Petty?
Oh, I think I might have messed that one up. You mean the next one? Well, that was the city employee one. I think I messed that up.
It should be
I
on
think,
this one. Yeah.
Mr. Clerk? Yeah, you're on the wrong one.
So,
Okay.
yeah, the motion should be for this coming.
So we voted for the next one. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's the affordable housing. Inclusionary zoning is coming to the city council next week. That's what I wrote about today. And the vote is going to be 4-7 for the actually good inclusionary zoning proposal. And then the one that's basically useless is going to get 11-0.
Yes.
Councilor Merrill Carlson?
I don't
And it'll be
think it's
extremely hard.
coming separately.
Councilor Rose?
Yes.
Councilor Russell?
I thought
Well,
it was
they're gonna-
voted on in committee to approve the.
Yeah, the committee sent along 2-1 the proposal, the coalition's proposal.
Right.
So they have to
that's the
vote
only
that
thing that should
down.
be.
Well, yeah,
That's
but
the only aspect.
right, but so whenever they vote on the city's proposal, whether it be next meeting or a meeting in the future, that one's going to be unanimous. But the coalition's proposal is getting shot down next week easily.
Adopted on a roll call. Councilor
I thought
Bergman?
that
Yes.
the
Councilor Calorio?
what happened
Councilor
this
Aguirre?
time is that
Councilor King?
there was an
Councilor Merrill
amendment
Carlson?
made to it,
Councilor Nguyen?
Yes.
and then
Councilor Rivera?
this was the cities that got the amendment approved in committee, and now that amended form is coming back to the council.
Yeah, where it's going to get voted down.
February 22nd. February 24th.
So then it would
by
have to, they would have to
Is that a public
reintroduce the city's version. Because it's
I'm
already
not
been
sure.
amended by the committee.
I'm not sure how that works. But
That's going to be a nightmare.
yeah, I'm not sure how the like the Robert's rules of it works, but I know what's going to happen is that the good one's getting shot down
Sweeping program.
and the bad one's
There we
getting
go.
approved.
So and that we can file that. All those in favor, opposed, so ordered. Transmitting information communication relative to the master plan relative to the improvements of Lakeview Playground. You can send that to Parks, or we can want that Parks. We can file it, send it to Parks. All those that send it to Parks, all those in favor, opposed, so ordered. Next is 10.18A, transmitting information relative to the grant of Community Health Link to implement crisis intervention. You can send that to Public Health. Councilor Rivera.
Yeah, just want to request to send this public health. I actually had a meeting with them this week, and one of the goals is that we're looking to hopefully have this. It would be great to be able to do not only a presentation in public health, but eventually also do a presentation to the council, just a brief presentation on what's happening. I mean, this is a really great step for us as a city. It was something that was really worked. I want to really commend Chairman, yourself as mayor, and administration, who've really made this commitment and community to make this happen. And I'm looking. I know that some of the bureaucracy has had some delay, but as we see, this is a major issue that is something that many of us on this council have been talking about for a long time. One of the things that I talked about.
This shit's boring.
Plan is, and it's great to see that report. Then maybe
Well, I was looking away from the screen because I was looking at Tara, and then just all of a sudden,
Oh, I gotta stretch it out.
this is very exciting. From
It's like getting out of the car after a long car ride through Ohio.
I'm looking at this.
Oh, cutie.
Our police department as well, in the sense that they can focus on public safety and folks that are trained in crisis.
Yeah, like no one is under the impression that the good inclusionary zoning policy wouldn't really even accomplish that much. It's just like the best that we could conceivably do, and we can't even do that.
Work that we're doing here in the city and the community, and then being able to kind of come back in the fall and see where we are. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor
Yeah, no shit, it shouldn't be the domain of the market. Sorry, Brendan. I know that you're in on that, but public housing, let's go.
It's moving forward as well. This particular item, as far as an alternative deployment in response to mental health challenges and the like, was part of the police reform discussion that we had a couple of years ago. I was proud to have filed the order asking for us to move in this direction. And I know that I've met with the mental health task force and Dr. Steele, and I think Kim Sandman was leading this. I met with her as well. And it's been a long time coming. I know that the prior administration talked about some of the challenges of finding the right agency with the right profile and the right capacity to do this work. That being said, the thing that particularly excites me is the timeline. And I just have a question to the chair, to the administration, if he happens to know. It says here that it looks like June of 2023, they're looking to pilot this. They've hired I can't remember the term, a director or whatever the case might be, a position to oversee all of this. And in June, again, they're supposed to be piloting this. Do we have any indication? Well, let me ask it this way. Are we still on course for piloting this in June of 2023?
Mr. Manager?
Through the chair to the council, that is correct. We are on course to make sure that we pilot that for June. There are challenges, and they have some challenges in recruitment and in terms of some of the social workers and mental health workers to be part of the entire team. But we feel very ready and to be on course to be able to pilot this in June.
Thank you. And I didn't notice it in here, But if we could get some of this information, I'm not asking this as an order, it's not necessary, but some of the specifics I'd be interested to seeing as relates to the structure of all this. They've clearly did their due diligence, best practices, existing models, etc. There's a way that the administration can get to us some of those documents so we can take a look at it. This is, again, something that very proud to
I agree, Maine South Mom, definitely one to watch.
It's very important to me, and it's very important to our city. And I think that the dance and the cadence between law enforcement, dispatch, and community is extremely important. We know mental health is we know at a point now in our city that with the lack of access to services is even more acute. So glad to hear this is still on, and June is just around the corner. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so send that to Public Health. Those in favor, opposed, so ordered. We are just going to take an item out of order, if you don't mind. Those in favor, opposed, so ordered on 17.
Seltzer
A
time.
to T. These are ordained on a roll call. These are the ordinances. Everybody's all set. Roll call.
Council Bergman?
Yes.
Council Calorio?
Yes.
Council G.I.? Council King?
Yes.
Council Merrill Carlson? Council Nguyen?
Yes.
Council Rivera?
Yes.
Council Rose?
Yes.
Council Russell?
Yes.
Council Toomey?
Yes.
And Mayor Petty.
Yes, we are on. Going back, we're on 10.36A, 10.37A through D, 10.38A to 42B. Adopting a roll call. Hang on 1 second, making sure that.
Council Bergman?
Yes.
Council Calorio?
Yes.
Council G.I.? Council King?
Yes.
Council Merrill Carlson?
Yes.
Council Nguyen?
Yes.
Council Rivera?
Yes.
Council Rose?
Yes.
Council Russell?
Yes.
Council Toomey?
Yes.
And Mayor Petty.
Yes, this is 10.40, miscellaneous agenda, vote required, recommend adoption of the order to increase the cost of living for retirees to 5% for fiscal year 2023 in the vote of the Worcester Retirement Board and authorized under this chapter 269 of the Acts of 2022. Roll call.
Council Bergman?
Yes.
Thanks, George.
Council Calorio?
Yes.
Council G.I.?
Yes.
Council King?
Yes.
Council Merrill Carlson?
Yes.
Council Nguyen?
Yes.
Council Rivera?
Yes.
Council Rose?
Yes.
Council Russell?
Yes.
Council Toomey?
Yes.
And Mayor Petty.
Yes, we are on 11A through 11H. Council Bergman has asked.
Troubler, is that in relation to the subtitles? The automated subtitles? Because I've seen that happen a number of times with the Tell's name, and it really makes me chuckle every time.
Within the D&I? Okay. So we'll take those, a motion to adopt. Those in favor, opposed, so ordered. Then we'll take 11C to 11H. Full City Council is here, so motion is to adopt. Those in favor, opposed, so ordered. Orders, request the manager work with the African community through the Massachusetts Organization of African Descendants to educate and provide access to American Rescue Plan Act funding to support the businesses of the city. Council King.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think that the folks that spoke on this earlier really summed this
What I
up.
miss? Anything good?
I think we've heard a lot of discussion
Nothing
about
very
ARPA
good.
funding and communication.
No,
and
not really anything.
making sure that there's an education process to this. I just want to say very quickly that I've already spoken with Mr. Dunn, Peter Dunn.
What are we on now?
Chief Development Officer Dunn,
10
who's
something.
already reached out to the Massachusetts Organization of African Descendants.
Okay, yeah, 10A.
Schedule a date certain to work with that group. So I would like a report back and an update. I'm just very happy that this matter is moving forward. There's so many small businesses in our city, as we mentioned before, in our African community. I mean, you talk about, I think she said 21% of Worcester residents are of African descent, and it covers 15 countries, or 20% of immigrants. So, you know, I think that as we continue to celebrate ethnicities and races and gender and all of those things, that it'll ever be a challenge to make sure that our communication.
These chickens aren't coming home to roost.
Coming in strong.
You
We
can
have
use that
fun.
for a lead if you want, Bill, if you want to write a story about it.
Oh, thanks, man. I really appreciate that.
Request the city
You're
manager by
welcome.
council with a timeline and when the city will propose an ordinance concerning accessory dwelling units. Councilor Russell.
I think if I have to write a story specifically on the backyard chicken ordinance, I would rather just delete my newsletter and never post again.
Accessory dwelling units by right in a zone that currently allows residential.
I always used to hear about like
Houses.
comics
Chairman,
would
we
like
all
submit
know that,
monologue
sometimes,
jokes to David Letterman.
this
You just like
building and
fax
every
in
government,
jokes,
for that matter,
like trying to get him on the show.
moves
And I
quickly
thought that'd be
and
really funny if I just sent
but,
headline ideas to Victor Infante all the
kinda
time.
like
Yeah.
my
He'd
perspective,
probably run with them.
based on some
He
feedback
probably would.
that I received from the community and even from some staff about the possibility of with this ordinance that I proposed about accessory dwelling units and more.
This is Russell going like, could we get a timeline on this? Like we just need to know when we're gonna get the no from the administration on making ADUs a thing.
With special permit. So I have I'm suggesting, Mr. Chairman, to my colleagues.
He literally called them out while you were talking about
we may
like,
want to tweak that.
I know that the administration takes a while.
Try and streamline that process, and in zones where two families or more residential units. Are
Apparently, city administration sent an email to the city council after the problem pregnancy story came out, just reaffirming that that was the way that they responded. The way that they were quoted in my story was in fact the way that they responded. Because people were like, that seems kind of fucked up. And they're like, yeah, well, that's what we did. He must be lying. That's you guys wouldn't do that. That's pretty fucking stupid.
No.
Like, nope,
No, he got it.
that's
He
what we
nailed
did. Nope. Yep. It's all true.
After the ordinance, I'm just asking, what's the timeline through you, Mr. Chairman, to the administration? What do you think for a timeline of trying to get this back to us? Because we've had a lot of folks.
It'd be nice if the city council took the job of evaluating whether or not the administration is doing a good job. Seriously,
that has already been
because it kind of seems like they're not doing an especially good job right now in a lot of
We
ways.
do have some upcoming public workshops, so I'll put a.
But there's no real way to. They don't try to measure themselves against other communities in any real way. Or
up in our office so that folks can have those in their yard to spread awareness about that. So I think when we were originally thinking about this, we wanted to not do everything sort of in a vacuum or have this Band-Aid approach and do it comprehensively in tandem with the recommendations of the Now Next plan comprehensively. But we do understand that this is an item of kind of particular importance or priority for the city council. So we're happy to move forward with this on a parallel track while the Now Next plan is kind of rolling out. And so our thought process on that is that this spring we would provide an informational communication. So not unlike what we did with inclusionary zoning, where we start with an informational communication so that the council and the public are familiar with accessory dwelling units. What are they? What does that mean in terms of zoning? What are best practices? What are the impacts? What are the opportunities? And then come back after folks have an opportunity to take a look at that informational communication, digest that information, make sure that everybody is informed about accessory dwelling units, and come back with a more specific zoning kind of recommendation. I would say probably more like a fall timeframe. And the reason for that, I know that there's a goal of expediting this, but we've already been looking into this and diving into the details. And as you know, some things are not quite as simple as we might like them to be. So we want to make sure that when we're doing this, we're being thoughtful about it, that we're being thorough about it. And that
Cities around the country and state develop these kinds of things in a tenth of the time that it takes Worcester.
what kind of implications are we talking?
It infuriates me
Through the
how
chair to the
much they
council, I know
drag
you
their
brought up a
feet on
couple
everything.
Examples of just waiving off-street
Everything.
parking, waiving setback requirements, other kind of dimensional kind of
Yeah.
controls. There is a reason why some of those things exist currently in
Not
the
working
zoning
with the best and brightest here in the heart of the Commonwealth.
So we want to be thoughtful about
They're not sending
what
their
districts
best.
might that be.
Well, I mean, it doesn't help when
where it
this
doesn't
past
have
budget
such
cycle is the
impact, but
first time we
uh,
included
and also,
KPUs.
we know the neighborhoods in the city, they do have different
Like, we
characteristics.
didn't
They all
track
in different zoning
how
districts. We just
departments
wanna
were
make sure that
doing
we're not
based
putting
on
something
goals
forward
before
without
this
giving it
budget
the
cycle.
diligence. As we know, based on the suggestion, this is going to affect a large number of acres in the city.
And the
so
city
when
still
we're
doesn't
doing
have a data
land
analyst,
use
which is
policy
another thing
that's
that I'm
gonna
like really
affect
kind of
hundreds of
pissed
acres,
about.
potentially thousands of acres in the city. We just want to make sure that we're doing
We
our
have
appropriate.
so much information we could crunch to actually get all of this if we just had, like,
Chairman, as I've said,
we need
many
people
times
who understand how to reserch, and we do not have that in the city
serving on the planning board,
government right now, it
been a
seems.
member of the planning board, even chairman of the planning board for years back.
Worcester local cryptid,
Zoning ordinance.
all of them. Like literally every single one. There is a gross pattern there, and it's easily provable. But yeah, it's
I'll
kind of
have
crazy.
the receipts on that soon.
Okay, good, good.
Kind of part. That's part of all of the requests for. It kind of turned into something a little bit more of a larger database, and so yeah, it's going to have that kind of information in it.
Great, great. Let me know when you're done with that. I want to take a look at that.
It's probably going to be at least a month until it's
Yeah,
like
that's fine.
visible and understandable by other people.
Yeah, that's fine.
Have been made about some of the properties where there have been problems and some issues that may have arrived. Mr. Chairman, when I brought this item forward, originally, I had hoped for it to be fast-tracked because I thought it was an emergency. I thought it was an emergency about the housing issue, and I saw this as one small piece of trying to deal with that. And I would be lying, Mr. Chairman, if I didn't tell you that I'm disappointed that we're talking about upwards of a year to get an
Both.
in front of
Both.
us that we can
Both is
vote
good.
on, and to wait for some kind of a
That's really the only part of that movie that's worth quoting
that is not in this chamber.
or watching for.
This,
I tried to rewatch it recently. It was pretty bad.
come in with feedback. I mean, it's nice to have that feedback. It's nice. To
Remember when the city made a Christmas movie about a municipally funded ice rink?
But this is an item, Mr. Chairman, and an item that was supported unanimously.
That's why
by
Joe
the
Petty's
council.
on
I think
IMDb.
everybody co-signed it and jumped on the item and brought it up first.
Christmas on Ice.
Pointing at least
The writer was like, "Wow, I cannot believe your downtown has been so revitalized."
move that timeline up and get something before us that the Economic Development Committee can have a hearing on, that the planning board can have a hearing on. The
Wow, Worcester's downtown has come a long way. It has been very revitalized.
fast on this because this will
It's
provide.
that's so
many,
funny with those
many
two because like
extra units.
Worcester's pretty easy to work with film stuff, but like if I called and tried to get them to let me use the ice rink or City Hall, it would be a flat no for like a legit project. But that one,
Yeah, right.
like, non-union, they're paying people like dirt.
There's some sort of deal there that we're never going to hear about.
No, there's no deal to be like to be figured out. It's what's his face from Polar.
Oh, okay.
What's their last name?
Involving
The Polar family.
The Polars.
Yeah.
units.
One of the daughter's husbands is a director, like in a small time like movie producer.
Oh, did he write the script?
I don't think he wrote it, but that's how they like got
Crowley. There we go.
Crowley's, yeah, because he was doing like
Is it a corporation?
he does like Hallmark movies and stuff like that, and so
Yeah, because
that's how the relationship started.
I have a conspiracy theory that I'm never going to be able to prove that the Chamber of Commerce was involved in writing that script in some way. I really, really think so.
There are no safety
And I won't be able to pin that
Creating
down.
more units, so there are going to need to be more inspections. Do we have the personnel and the funds to do that? Again, I want to.
I know some people that worked on it. I can ask
but I've been
around.
on this council long enough to know those two words that often show up.
Let's see. Let's do some little investigation here. While this is so boring. Christmas on Ice.
Too fast. The other question I have is from the assessor's office. What does this do to the assessment of the property? Is it now a single family? Is it now a two family? And how do you navigate back and forth if it no longer becomes an accessory dwelling that's occupied? And that's just at the top of my head.
John Stimpson is the writer-director.
I do respect and appreciate.
So the director is related to the Crowleys.
I don't know if it's I believe it's him, but I'm not positive that he definitely did that one. I just know that he does. Yeah, no, that is him because I just pulled him up. It is him. So he's married to one of the Crowley daughters.
That always show up.
Oh, wow! In 2021, he did a Cape Cod Christmas.
He did.
So he just
done. I guess
rewrote.
a couple of them are kind of good as far as those things
Really?
go. But yeah, there's one called Ghostlight that a bunch of people were working on. That's apparently pretty decent.
I don't want this to be restricted.
But I've never seen. I don't even know where to watch. I don't even know how to get the Hallmark Channel anymore.
Units across the city, they need
I'm
to
so
be
past.
Oh yeah, his wife is Carolyn Crowley.
a lot of which are across the
Wow.
city. So
Written by a Nepo husband.
I think we should move fast on it. I'm sure that there's
Nepo hubby. Is that something?
Nepo, yeah, Nepo hubby.
Nepo hubby?
Again, we cannot have these accessory dwelling units.
Joe's not on IMDb for this. This is fucked up. I'm going to add him right now.
So just want to make sure that restriction.
Wait, that's irresponsible. I have to watch the.
Thank you. So send that to the manager.
Should we do a watch along? Does anybody want to do a watch along?
Christmas on Ice.
Concerning
Fuck yeah.
She's known as Four Eyes, which was the technical sea.
If it's on Amazon, we can
definitely
we can watch it on Twitch.
Yep.
What our recommendations are, because we've been through this with the ice storm, the long on beat, and
Wait,
that would be actually kind of hilarious.
Wait, Brian,
that
aren't
needs
you
to be
doing that?
next fall, next December?
Yeah. Aren't you doing that event at Ralph's where you're making fun of movies in real time? I read that in Sean's newsletter.
Yeah,
That would be a good one to do.
Sunday night, we're
Sick.
starting a new show called Feed Your Creatures, and we bring on a different comic or different person every month, and they're gonna pick their favorite movie, and then we're gonna try and tear it down. And we're gonna start with Rocky. So
That's so sick. Trying to tear down one of the great contributions to American cinema. I love it.
I'm really excited.
Brian, if you can do me a
screenplay.
If you can do me a solid and get Roadhouse on that short list of movies.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure,
that's
yeah,
important.
you have to come on and talk about it. But
I mean, I don't know, be capable of. It's just I would just sit there waiting for the crowd reaction, especially people who haven't seen it. Just that one scene at the end where Patrick Swayze's fighting the bad guy. Yeah, but right before that, I used to fuck guys like you in prison. I mean, it's such a beautiful line, and everyone forgets it's there, and then just sneaks up on you.
It's true. It's true.
I forgot the resolution. Hang on.
Wait, Christmas on Ice.
I don't
is
think
on
I've seen this
Amazon Prime.
movie.
Council City of Worcester does hereby support
You ever seen Roadhouse?
No, I don't think I've seen Roadhouse. I haven't seen like
Oh, that's good.
like 90% of people like when they say like you haven't seen that, I go like, yeah, no, I haven't.
Did you guys know they're remaking Roadhouse with Jake Gyllenhaal?
Throughout the women throughout the
And
Really?
they, at like a UFC fight, like a couple
Mr.
weeks ago, they
Chairman,
like filmed a fake
this
fight
would've
of him,
been
like
done
him coming
earlier,
out
and
doing
I
an
know
entrance and
that,
doing a
this is
match
something
for the
that
movie.
Yourself, along with Council Rose
Huh.
and the rest of the council.
Do you guys also know that they're
always
making Good Burger 2?
recognize
They just started it, and it's shooting
No
in
way.
Rhode Island.
woman's
They're shooting it in Rhode Island.
I did hear that.
So this resolution reads, whereas Women's
Keenan in
History
it?
Month is recognized
They both are.
Oh, yeah.
nationally to
Keenan
increase
and
Dude.
awareness
Or should I say
and
Kellen Keenan?
knowledge around the contributions women have made throughout history. Whereas women of every race, class, and ethnic background.
I learned my
served
lesson on
as
Hocus
early
Pocus 2,
leaders in
though.
the
I'm not going
forefront
to try and
of
get a job
every
on it
major
because
progressive social
you never
change
want to
movement
work on a
whereas
thing you're
women
nostalgic
have
for.
been leaders not only in securing their
It'll-
own rights of
It'll break your
suffrage
fucking heart.
and equal opportunity, but also the abolitionist
Yeah, I learned that the
movement,
hard way in the
the
game industry too.
emancipation movement, the industrial labor movement,
Not
the
good.
civil rights movement,
Nope.
and other
You gotta
movements,
not give a shit
especially
about it.
the peace movement, which create a more fair and just
So,
society for all. And
if-
whereas
Yeah, that's why I write about Worcester.
Rights
There you
Convention
go.
occurred right
If
here in the city of
any movie that I think any movie, and I don't know if
for
it's just on Amazon
equality
Prime
before
or
the
if like
law
any
without distinction
like
of
anything
sex
that's
or
free to
color.
stream on Amazon Prime, or
Whereas
if
the
it's anything
chamber
that
in
you
which
can rent on
the
Amazon,
City Council of
you
the
can
City of
watch
Worcester
along on Twitch.
conducts its
Like you
business
can
is
play it over your
dedicated to the
Twitch
memory of
and like
Worcester's
comment
own
on it.
Esther Allen Howland,
And I
one
gotta
of the
check
first
on if it's
American
eligible.
woman
But if it
entrepreneurs.
is, we should
Now,
absolutely
therefore,
watch.
be it resolved that the
We should
city
watch this
Christmas
movie.
on Ice?
Christmas on
Which
Ice.
one?
And
Yeah, we definitely should.
yeah,
It's so funny.
and
It's so
and,
funny.
as Women's History
and
Month in the
invite
city of
Joe
Worcester.
Petty on to talk
Be it
about his
further
cameo.
resolved that the City Council of the City of Worcester does hereby call upon its public officials, community members, and residents.
You love to see someone who would
Oh,
gladly imprison modern day abolitionists
And the various
to
happenings
praise
that
the
are
abolitionist movement of Worcester in the past.
And like I said, Mr. Chairman,
I gotta. That's
we're always,
somebody was
recognizing
streaming
the
Megan
strength
the
of
other night,
here in
and I was able to sign on. Maybe I'm linked through my mom's Amazon Prime account, but I
Oh,
was able
Meg
to click
3N?
Meg 3N.
Meg 3N? I heard that's pretty good.
Methregan.
Yes.
Methregan, yes, yeah.
Yes.
I'm dying to watch it. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, Brian, it looks like we have to watch
Yes.
it through Prime, but any movie that's available through Prime.
It's
not
just
the ones you have
Chucky
to
for
buy.
e-girls.
We have,
Sorry, Travis. What'd you say?
It's not for ones you have to
14B,
buy,
Council
but only
King.
ones that are available on
Privilege.
Amazon Prime.
14A, motions to advertise the proposed ordinance.
Well, then we'll just do it live. Fuck it, we'll do it live.
This one, 14A, Council, take note, Mr. Clerk. The council
We can still
will
stream it.
recuse
We've proved it.
himself.
We'll just get a
14A,
better
roll
stage.
call.
Say your last name.
Yeah.
Yes.
Councilor GA? Councilor King?
Yes.
Councilor Carlson?
Yes.
Councilor Nguyen?
Yes.
Councilor Rivera?
Yes.
Councilor Rose?
Yes.
Councilor Russell?
Yes.
Councilor Toomey?
Yes.
And Mayor Petty.
Yes. We have 14C, the 14J, we'll leave 14D
Oh,
and
boy.
I out of that.
How many items
So
are
except
there?
for,
Because I'm
14D
done.
and I, motion to accept. All those in favor, opposed, so ordered.
Let's see, we're at 14.
Recused himself. All those in favor, opposed, so ordered.
We only have the under suspension ones that were held from last week,
15A,
but there's quite a bit of
motion to
those.
Damn
In
it.
favor, opposed, so ordered.
But I don't know if there's quite a bit that they're going to talk about. It's kind of up in the air.
Accept or to adopt.
Yeah, this
All
seems
those in
like a lot
favor,
of like
opposed, so ordered. We get 17.
a lot of that over and over again.
Table items.
Oh, we're already on
Yeah.
17.
Oh, we're on 17? All right, good.
Councilman Carlson, I think you said you.
I think that's what you
First, give me a
said.
Heads up, you're gonna take something off the table? Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to take off 18K off the table.
Okay. Roll call.
I think Batista is current in the midst, right?
Councilor Gloria?
Yes.
Councilor GA?
16J off the table?
Councilor Carlson?
Okay.
Yes.
It's the
16K.
one about going into executive
Rivera?
session for
Councilor Rose?
Yes.
Councilor Russell?
Yes.
Councilor Toomey?
talking about the city
Mayor Petty.
clerk's
Yes.
office and chief of council
Mr.
position.
Chairman, I'd like for 18K to go to municipal operations.
Okay. Send it to MO. All those in
Yep.
favor, opposed, so ordered. Okay, we are on, that's it. So we'll go back to the beginning of the agenda.
What? Oh. So they can go in executive session. I wonder how much money we're gonna give the cops to wear body cameras. That's gonna
All
be
of it.
really fun. It's gonna be
Everything is
really
all
fun
of
to
it.
see that number.
Session.
It's gonna be so fun to see that number once it's public.
Yeah. How can we do that?
It's gonna be gross.
Yeah.
Motion to suspend the
Cops,
rules.
what are we
This-
gonna give you to wear body cams? Answer: whatever the hell I want.
Yeah.
Thing is Councilor Toomey now that I see her. Do you want to stand up with me?
No, you have the four, one person at
Can
a
we,
time.
all right.
Go ahead.
Was they gonna sing
I think
together?
what
Is it a
we were
duet?
gonna do is, I think I'm gonna just say, I want to congratulate the boys basketball team at North High.
Are you gonna stand up with me?
games that I got to go to. I feel really privileged that I get to go to the last, 4 or 5
Oh my
games.
God.
And what an amazing team.
It is really cool that
Historical,
North pulled that off.
venture for the city.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
City, school to make.
Somebody told me that there was a documentary crew local that was had been following them
That's
around.
been following them. Yep.
Oh, that's super
the-
sick. I can't wait to watch the documentary.
The initial movie has already been screened, but I don't know
Oh,
what they're
really?
going to do about the postseason. Yeah, they did all of the like in-season
parade
stuff, and then I
Sunday
think they're doing a
afternoon.
secondary part for
I believe in North
postseason.
High School. You'll have
But
all
I
three have
don't
an email, I hope.
necessarily
It'll
remember
be
that,
North High School.
if
Hopefully
that's
Shaun
true or
Connolly
not.
will be there too. And it will go from north. I think it's going down to some of the neighborhoods, and it's going to end up over.
Oh, we're doing a parade.
Polo Park. So,
quite a walk.
so if people want to come down, you can join the parade route, or you just can show up at Polo Park. You don't have a choice.
Was that Kate Toomey complaining about the
Thank you,
length
Mr.
of the
Chairman.
walk?
Yes.
So, as my colleague, I know attended many of the
Yeah.
games. I also did.
So
I mean, she's got mobility issues, so she brings that up and points it out whenever
Yeah.
there's something like that.
North High. My mother graduated from North High in 1945. And it is it is our neighborhood
Cool.
school, though. So I do have a little bit of a love for North High. I know the city manager graduated from there as well.
Imagine like
such
imagine saying that.
Why is
like,
she
I love North High.
grandstanding
My
on
mom
this?
went
So,
there. It's like,
also,
oh yeah,
I'm
my
very
mom went to
grateful to be
Marion
part
High
of
School.
a
I
couple
love
of
that
Nice,
school.
nice.
efforts to help raise money for the team.
My mom went to that school they tore down 15 years ago.
Florida, and I remember saying to somebody, "Well, what do they need to do that for?" And it gave them an opportunity to play with teams that they would never have been able to play against, and it actually was, I think, a very important.
I gotta be honest, listening to Kate Toomey right now in this moment is filling me with a deep abyss of depression.
First public high school in the city of Worcester.
And I don't have anything productive to say about it.
State championship.
But
Couldn't
it's like
this
a
be
void in
tweet?
my soul.
I hate to encourage her
I
to
mean,
tweet,
she-
but couldn't this be a tweet?
Couldn't this be a tweet? Yeah.
Couple of pictures.
She said like, and they were fundraising to take the team to Florida, and she didn't understand why. And oh, it's been apparent. Like, why does that? What does it matter? What is your point?
Acted, and I also want.
There's a parade happening.
The cheerleading team as well.
Yes,
but
I
the
think so.
coaches,
I would pay $1,000
kids also
towards trying to get her to try to dunk.
And nobody.
Kate Toomey, Donna Colorio free throw contest. Let's go.
Let's have them play horse.
Also,
No, you were
Why
right.
did Donna Colorio ask Kate Toomey if they want to stand up together? That was very weird. That was extremely weird. What is going on? What sort of pre-planned coordination stunt are they working on there?
Ready? And okay.
continue to do. So the other interesting, I'm not sure a lot of people know. There was only one senior on.
Brian,
the
I
team.
think you were on it the first time. I think it's
Many
a
of these
trampoline
kids
assisted
were
dunk
freshmen in
contest.
softballs. And so we're having a very
Yeah.
exciting season.
Can we get the Phoenix Suns gorilla and Benny the Bull to
Thank
come
you,
out
the
too?
manager. The time hasn't been confirmed yet, but we will have an email.
We can get an ice cat or something.
Before we move on, I just want to mention the last game. I know Council King was there, and the school committee members and councils, but I think half the stadium was filled up because of the city of Worcester. And I just want to thank people for coming out, and hopefully they'll come out this Sunday. So,
It was more than, Mr.
Councilor
Chairman, it was
Rivera.
more than half.
Yeah.
5,000 people were there.
Yeah, that's why I said one half. Yeah.
This is goddamn painful.
Shut up, stupid lady.
Rushing to take credit for these kids' accomplishments that they've actively worked against their entire political careers and don't know who any of these kids are and are never going to do anything for them for the rest of their fucking lives.
They don't even have a local basketball court in their park.
Right. They're gonna brush that off. They're gonna send that to committee for the rest of their natural fucking life.
We're going to pass this.
Insanity. Just fucking bullshit. These kids like questioning why they're going to
Man,
Florida.
city
like,
council just
'cause
fucking
they
sucks.
recruited.
Out, and then the other thing too is to be able to kind of really look at when we're permitting that we're not permitting on private property, which has been done, which they get permitted on somebody else's property, which doesn't make sense. And number two, that we also make sure that activities that are being done are not affecting community in the sense of like that it's not blocking sidewalk, because that is an issue for people. We have a highly pedestrian area, especially when we're looking, I'm going to be very specific into a specific area of Main South, especially between like Hammond and like Piedmont. And so you have a lot of people that walk, strollers, walkers, you know, that use other devices. Blocking a sidewalk in any ways, it can be affecting. Also, if you're distributing food, making sure that there's.
Is
some
she
of that food
reading
that
chat
just-
from
it's
the
really
comments
affecting the
earlier
community. This is
about
years
the
that I have been on
church?
council, this has been a repetitive thing. And if we could at least eliminate.
Was that in
the
chat on here or on the
it would be great. And then we
comments?
could-
I don't remember which,
No, it
but
was-
I
it
saw
was
that
here.
pop up tonight. Okay.
That we really have some stipulation regarding blockage of sidewalks and things like that. I would really greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor King.
All right, who else is gonna say something stupid? Let's go.
I too want to commend North High basketball.
You know what's crazy? Not even 9
I
o'clock
think
yet.
that
This
should
feels
be
like the longest meeting we've ever been in.
This it feels like midnight.
Yeah, it hasn't gone to 3 hours yet, but it feels like that.
I
for North High.
I seriously, I looked down at the
And,
clock thinking I was going to be seeing like 10:30.
You know what it is? It's because there's nothing like there's no actual drama on the tonight besides Jennifer Gaskin coming up. That was the only good part of the meeting. It was just all pandering. This has been 3 straight hours of pandering, making it drag in just like the Albanian street renaming thing felt like a couple days, honestly.
Had a number of opportunities to win Division I state championship.
The fact that we started with the sun up didn't
But
help.
the most beautiful aspect.
Yeah, that's true as well.
Our guest next week was spending time outside tonight, and I was very envious of him.
Wow.
Officials, black, white, yellow, brown, immigrants, you know, and
Daylight savings. Yep.
the beauty to rally around.
This is the first meeting after that.
As one is amazing, and to have the game of basketball go outside of Worcester to other communities as a unified front is a powerful metaphor for us as elected officials to understand the commonalities, the idea of strong work ethic, leadership.
This is going to be the night that someone in that room gets the idea that what Worcester really needs is a freestanding basketball stadium. And we're going to spend the next 20 years focused on nothing but getting the general public to pay for a basketball stadium. We're going to bring back the Bay State Bombardiers. It's going to be absolutely
What
incredible.
about the odd?
Celebrating this.
What about the
Gotta
odd?
get the odd going again.
I look forward to.
No, Jake's busy over there. Don't mess with
Jake
him.
Sanders is working on it. He's trying to get Jeff Bezos to fucking
administration,
bankroll it.
Oh, Jeff
Supposed to become
Bezos.
a part of Becker, and that kind of fell through.
Yeah,
Becker
an
put through.
esports arena, the shit that no one shows up to, the shit that
Dude,
happens
no, that's-
online.
That's not true. Have you seen an esports like tournament?
It's wild. They did
I
what
actually
they
did.
Easy.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I know.
If they,
I
did
actually
that,
covered
I honestly
one
would
for
be
Worcester
way into
Magazine.
it. I
Yeah.
would be way into that because that is a great way to get people that will come from anywhere
a lot of us
to go to it.
Yeah, for sure.
And we celebrated together.
I went to All Systems Go once, and I don't know if it's still open anymore.
Thank you. Councilor.
No, it's
Thank you for
not.
your
It's,
support.
it's a restaurant now.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
There was like four
tonight,
of those video game bars tried to open at the same time, and only Free Play has survived, I believe.
Oh, the one that's
Free play is awesome. I really
the one
like
that's
free
connected
play.
to some sort of Providence money. Interesting. That's interesting. that
Yeah.
they're able to stay open.
Yeah.
The Providence Money place was able to stay open.
I do really like it. They
fun.
set it
I
up
like that
well in
place.
there. The machines they've got really good choice of machines. I love the Japanese rhythm games that are off in the room to the right. Those are really awesome. It's like there's one where you're like conducting and you like it's got like vertical like air detection.
on this
There's
particular bill.
there's a new
really
video game
translates
store
to,
/
for a
like
lot of these
small
veterans, not
arcade
only
in Patnack.
the homeless piece
Yeah.
and
Turn in, right?
food,
Oh,
What's
really?
that called again?
so
What is it called?
Materia.
Yeah.
Materia.
aspect
I gotta
of
go
this,
there.
because
Their
this is
I
Instagram's
have
how
like
great.
4
these folks are
cabinets,
getting
but
to
Yeah.
they're pretty
like
good.
curate.
They're tiny.
They like cycle in like
so
different machines.
anyway,
Where is it though?
that's why
Right across the
It's
street
at,
from the
it's
7-Eleven.
here under
116
suspension
June
because
Street.
last week
Oh, okay.
we didn't meet.
June and Chandler.
This is something that is
Super
time
nice dudes.
sensitive, and I
Yeah, they seem cool.
understand that we
Very
vote
eager to
on
talk
it
to
next
anybody that
week.
walks in the
Is
door.
that correct, Mr. Chairman?
We'll vote on it tonight.
Oh,
and
never
then
mind. I
next
won't go
week
there.
Okay. Thank you. So again, I think it's pretty self-explanatory, and obviously this is really just sending a support letter to our delegation, which is Markey, Warren, and Congressman McGovern. So this isn't like they're not supporting this, because they already are, but it's helpful to them, as we all know, for us to send a letter, a resolution of support. Thank
Sure.
you, Mr.
Thank you.
Chairman.
On this, Council King? On this item? Yeah, Council King.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My brother's a retired U.S. Major, military, and he's down in South Carolina now. And the idea of homeless veterans is significant. The reality, of homeless veterans is significant. And here in the city, I think we do the best that we can, but it always comes down to resources. It comes down to funding, federal, state, local, and intentionality. And again, we've talked about this.
The way we talk about homeless veterans is different from like regular homeless people is very Starship Troopers.
Is often a great equalizer in the lives of folks. And
Citizens.
there we're specifically talking about our homeless veterans. And the reason I rose additionally to pay homage to my brother, but in addition to that, is to say, this is another example of how national politics impacts us right here in this chamber. We talked about this last meeting with regards to SNAP, with regards to the potential of ARPA funds being possibly clawed back by a Republican-led House. And we know that this particular item is also highly politic. And for the public, I want to reiterate that all politics is neighborly. All politics is neighborhood. And, I appreciate these ordinances. We have some folks.
All politics is neighborhood. Dude.
Senate, Congress, no. We're on the front lines. We are on
Now
the
you're
front
trying
lines
not to say it.
as elected leaders.
All right, we'll put it on a
with our
t-shirt.
community members. I would like to thank Councilor Carlson for this, and look forward to our Veterans Department continue the good work that they do.
Thank you. Okay, seeing nobody else, but I just again want to thank Coach Petway and his staff for the great job they did with those students, and so I thank the fans and the class they showed at those games versus, well, let's say, wasn't so classy some other people, but I thought.
Was there drama?
I thought he did a great job.
Wasn't there like someone this season that got like multiple? There was like a fight that broke out. People ended up in the hospital and someone got arrested. Some other school in the area. I don't remember where it was, but it wasn't Worcester. But that was this season with a basketball at a basketball game.
Well, thank God Joe Pay just stepped in on that. Consider it squash. Fuck.
Oh, Bill, you okay?
No choking on stream.
So we are going to take the first one.
Oh, God.
Second one.
Choked.
What's that? Yeah, we're
Does
gonna
it
do
at least
the first
taste
one first,
good?
Yeah.
You can't, because if you do the police, you can't come back.
What is going on here?
my first, and then
Okay.
come back, and then
Okay.
do the police.
Sorry. We can't do that one first?
City manager just scolded Big Daddy Boss.
All right, they're
But
done.
wait,
Let's be
why do
done.
they have to come? Why do they have to come back in between the executive sessions?
I don't know.
But you're gonna
I.
muddy things up.
But you're gonna muddy things.
Calorio thinks everything's over. She's packed up and is leaving.
Wait, hold on. Let's crank this feed up a little bit. We're gonna get some hot mic stuff here.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So I guess we're going to end up in open session, I would guess. So, well, okay. So motions go into executive session. City Council was convened executive session on March 21st, immediately following the conclusion of City Council for the purpose of conducting salary negotiations with
Dude,
City Clerk.
Joe.
Nicolon Vangelli, the City Council will the open session at the end of the executive session, and also that the City Council of Worcester convene an executive session at its March 21st, 2023 agenda. So it's contract negotiations with the following labor unions.
Why would you say the agenda item now if you're coming back into open session to do the second one?
To body worn cameras used to the Worcester.
What the fuck, dude? Just
the City
all right.
Council will we're going to come back in open session anyways after these two. So collectively, roll call.
Councilor Bergman?
Yes.
Councilor Calorio? Councilor Agia? Councilor King?
Yes.
Councilor Merrill Carlson?
Yes.
Councilor Nguyen?
Yes.
Councilor Rivera?
Yes.
Councilor Rose?
Yes.
Councilor Russell? Councilor Toomey?
Yes.
And Mayor Petty.
Yes.
Well, if that wasn't just a masterclass in the limits of electoralism.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Oh, look at that!
Ceiling.
Look at that angle pan. Look at that pan.
Yeah,
That's
keep
just
going, keep
delightful.
going.
Keep going. Up, up, up. Yeah, wow. Terrible meeting today. It was just awful. One of the worst. One of the worst ever. Harriet Chandler getting picked over somebody who was just objectively a better fit for the position is awesome.
Yeah. Insanely
we love that. Jennifer Gaskin showing up to yell at Kay Toomey specifically for how
That was great.
How the Caribbean Carnival gets the runaround from the city. That was also awesome. Two great moments. Two great moments in a meeting that was otherwise just 100% pandering and felt like it was 10 hours long.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Batista's response to Jennifer though was also like gold.
Yeah,
Being
he was just like,
yeah, it sucks. I developed it and it sucks.
yeah, our shit's fucked up. I gotta be honest with you. That's basically what he was saying. He's like, yeah, our shit's fucked up. It stinks. The way we do stuff, so stupid.
We're the worst.
Didn't really offer a solution. He was just like, yeah, I know what you're saying. It's really, really dumb how we do things. Which is awesome.
Man,
yeah, that was cool.
What a dumb city.
Yeah. Dumb city. Worcester is, if anything, we are a dumb city. And we see that in our executive board, dumb city USA.
I still feel like we're very much the city that thinks it's a town.
Oh, big time.
Oh,
wants to be a town so bad.
Well,
just looks at
everybody
it
that
and
has
goes, can't that be us?
Everybody with like entrenched power in the city wants to treat this as much like a town as possible, and every step away from that we take, they get more and more mad. It rules.
It all rules.
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
let's leave it there for the week.
I think so. Let's do our rundown. As you guys all know, we got to be subscribing to billshaner.substack.com. Bill, you got a piece up today.
One up today, yeah. Thanks.
Check that out. If you have, if you have until Thursday to read it. Christ, this guy, huh?
And yeah, I just can't shut the fuck up.
It's good stuff. I love it. Listen to Parts Unknown. We just put up an episode yesterday, a new episode where we took our friend Yenni Desroches. She'd never been to anything wrestling ever before. So we took her to Monday Night Raw, and then we did an episode about it. It was great. Make sure you're buying our t-shirts, wct3k.storeenvy.com. Get your Commenters Union t-shirt. I haven't seen one in the wild yet, so I would very much love to see somebody wearing one of those. Always the absolute best. We got shows Sunday night. This is a free show. Come on down to Ralph's upstairs. Anthony's got the projector going. We're gonna watch Rocky, and our friend Will Martin is gonna talk about why he loves it, and then we're gonna just try and make fun of it the whole time and make him feel bad and sad. So do that Sunday night at 8:00. Come on down. Next week, March 31st, we have Laura Severse headlining at Heartland Barber's new shop at 81 Elm Street in Millbury, right up the street from the Elm Draft House. Great lineup: Laura Severse, Murray Dickinson, Brianna Woodward, and Christy Kielbasinski. Me and Sean are going to be hosting, so make sure you check out our Eventbrite for that. Follow us here at WCT3000 on Instagram. Follow Woot and Annie Comedy as well to find out all the cool stuff that's going on. Yenni, Brendan, you guys got anything to plug? Now's the time.
I just want to congratulate all of our, the three of you, Travis, whoever the hell you are, and all of our chat members here on this SJC, reaffirming our right to tell public officials to go fuck themselves.
Yeah, for sure.
It was a big win for civility.
Love to see it.
Wolfpaw is looking into what to do in relation to that lawsuit having a success.
Yeah. That rules. I love that so much. So thank you guys all of everyone for joining us here tonight.
Nitty Council.
Yeah,
Nitty Council Sundays. It's 2 to 5 at the Village. Bring your knitting stuff. I bring embroidery stuff. My first time this weekend, so it was really cool. Great. It was nice to finally meet Deb in person.
Hell yeah. Travis, when's the next Seltzer Time episode coming out?
Seltzer Time will come out on Friday. Everybody should go to No Jerks Network on April 12th, Wednesday, April 12th.
You got to do it.
Thanks.
We love you guys all. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
Have a good week.
Bye.